Welcome, everybody. Another edition of the Stretch Run. I'm your host, Justin Sampson. I got Chris Walsh here filling in for Oldie. Chris, I just muted you because I think I was getting echo. FYI, we'll figure that out in a second. I'm back. I was in Florida last week with Scotty. Keelan picked 6 this Friday. $1 million carryover, y'all. We won't watch the races, but we will listen in. It's going to be a huge pool. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be playing this. It's a pretty difficult sequence. We'll talk about it. We'll talk some Gulfstream. We're going to play some pick 3s, daily doubles, not as many pick 5s. Chris and I will do things a little bit differently. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Great, Justin. Good to be here with you. Wishing Oldie and his daughter much success in Orlando this weekend. So I guess he'll be back right around Derby time.
Yeah, so for everybody tuning in, Oldie and I are going to do a Derby Oak show on the Friday. I think we're going to have some guest hosts. It'll be a fun show. I'm not sure if there will be a Derby show, but Mike, welcome. Corey, I don't know. I'd be curious. There's I could see there being similar tickets for sure. It doesn't look insanely tough, but you never know. I mean, you got to add coverage sometime in turf races, right? So it'll be interesting. I'll be curious on where the singles are. We'll talk about them. I thought there was a few different options, but Chris, Gulfstream Race 4. Let's start here, just since they're going off here in 4 minutes. I looked at this race pretty quickly. I thought the EquinEdge long shot was interesting at 9%. There's an 0 for 29 horse, and the 1 horse can't be broken, 19%. 10 horse, is taking all the money, 20% to win, and was 9% last out. I thought, yeah, you don't need to win. These are the situations where I looked at, I don't know, I guess it's Toyi. This horse has been racing on the turf, on the Tapeta, not really running, but ran okay last out. Not awful. Win percent stays the same. I thought this horse was a little bit interesting. You get a little bit of a morning line angle. I think it's a brutal race, but did you have any thoughts here?
Yeah, I did. Synthetic, you got 10 horses in here. They're 2 first-time starters. Of the 2, I give the 9 a little bit of look. The workout report on the 9 was pretty good. Both these things very easily. 3-star workout, and then the other one at a price that I like too was the 5, 4% horse. I mean, it's 4th time going here. Nothing really to speak of, but like you said, this race is kind of weird, and maybe you get a price on the 5 or the 9.
I'm glad you mentioned the 9. I thought that horse was interesting too as a first-time starter. I'm looking at my notes. Sorry, y'all. Spanish Fury, the 6, was interesting as a second-time starter with Miguel Vasquez. I think he jumps on. No, he rode last out, so he rides back. I thought this horse could improve, working well. Trainer jockey with Carlos David hit really well. So I'm with you on the 9. I would play Chris here. I don't box a lot, but just as we get started, I would play definitely something with I'd probably play like a 6, 8, 9 or something. Like I don't trust anything to do with the 10 or 11, but that's how I would play for cheap or something.
Yeah, I can totally get that as well. Like I said, this is one where I wouldn't really invest a whole lot of money into it, but I'd probably play something with the 5 or the 9 in there. If you had a horse you really liked on top, maybe key that one on top and put the 5 and 9 in an exacta, something like that.
All right, let's. We still got a minute. How Chris, are you? We'll talk about this in a little bit. Have you recovered from the Los Al fiasco of last weekend?
Oh my God, dude! I mean, how do you not set the gate at 330 yards instead of setting it at 300 like they did? I mean, that pick 4 would have paid 7,000 minimum because it was a second choice, and then 3 $12, $13, $14 horses in there. And that's usually how the Los Al pick 4 pays is when that happens. And then, you know, I saw that the 2 had won, and I had singled the 2, which 8-1 morning line. I think it went off at 6-1. And then all of a sudden they took all the numbers away, and I had the sound down, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I turn on and I hear Rona telling us that they set the gate at the wrong distance, which is funny because they did that at Saratoga when Some Like It Hot Brown broke its maiden. I think it was supposed to be at 1 1/16, and he went off at 1 1/8 or something. And they let it stand. I mean, they didn't even tell anybody that day. They told them like after the races, oh, by the way, you know, because people could see the time, and it was too long for 1 1/16. So
I've never seen anything like that happen, man, ever. I've never once ever seen them put the gate at the wrong place. I just couldn't believe it, man.
You know why they don't put the gate at the wrong place? Because I'm going to give you the G-rated version, because they mark it on the gate, on the rail.
Yeah.
The rail has all the marks on where it's supposed to go. So you're telling me that none of the jockeys, none of the outriders, none of the gate people, not the starter, nobody noticed?
I'm with you, man. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, and they put out a statement saying, oops, sorry, we put the gate in the wrong space. Sorry about your wagers, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah. All right, Tony, good to see you, man. It has been a bit. They're rounding behind the gate at Gulfstream.
Yep.
Speed on the dirt is good. Yeah, Chuck, I'm very much I like trying to watch track bias, especially at a track like Keeneland, because it does have a lot. The bummer though is they were running routes, which the bias usually is that speed holds on the inside, and of course in the pick 6 they flip to turf and sprints on the dirt. And I'd be curious. So Chuck, you're saying, I know it was holding in the first 2 races. Well, they were all routes, though, is the problem. But that is common at Keeneland, that the speed will hold to the inside going 2 turns. And they ran, 4 straight, it looks like. So I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah, that's good. I'd be curious if the sprints hold up the same on the dirt as well. I thought that the 1 horse in leg 2 of the pick 6 with Irad, the pace on the dirt sprinting could be a single, in my opinion. I thought some of the turf races were really, really hard. Then traditionally that's where you can find bombs, right? Because they can be wide open. But
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I've got a few turf pick 3s when we get there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which
you
races.
can. I love playing those. That's why that $3 turf pick 3 is like a very interesting bet to me, because if you can find a single and even you find a single at a little bit of a price, you can then and then Chris, I'll flip it over to announcer Pete, but you can find a single at a price and then spread it other ways. You can get pick 3s there that pay just $1,000, $1,500. I mean, it's awesome.
I forgot what the one that paid last week with Modern Games not winning, but it was significant.
It was like 12 or 1,500 if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm expecting
tomorrow and Freddie's flyer
here.
Going forward. Here's Wheatshift.
6, 8, 9 for
Toy
me.
Going up.
I don't trust the 1 or 10. 10 may get a good trip. I mean, definitely is deserving favorite, but I don't trust the 1 horse on the rail and 0 for 29 at all.
No, I've got the 5 and the 9 to win, and a 8 over 9.5.
They're working with Wheatshift. Then Street Soldier, debut runner from the Carlo Vaccarezza shed row. Last 2 up will be Natural Vibes and Bluey.
I don't know what the 9 ready to go in the gate, man. He's
like Jock on the 5 should put his feet in the stirrups. It's easier that way. I know he's trying to keep the horse calm. He's trying to keep the horse calm.
No, yeah, but were they the last two to load? Oh, they were. Okay.
One more. Race favorite Bluey to the outside. They're at the post, ready for the fourth. And they're off. The first-timer, Street Soldier, was off slowly. Excellent beginning for Bluey, and Wheatshift goes with him from between. No Tomorrow's not far away. Can't Be Broken is at the rail. Working in tight between horses is Spanish Fury with Always Golden next. Then it's a half a length back toward the inside to Freddy's Fire ahead of Natural Vibes. A long way last early is Street Soldier. To the far turn they go. No Tomorrow has the lead 3/4 of a length. Wheatshift is second. At the rail, Can't Be Broken is now third. From between horses, Always Golden. Bluey stuck 3 wide. Toyi is next. It's a gap of 2.5 to Spanish Fury, ridden with about 7 lengths to gain. 3 better than Freddy's Fire, then Natural Vibes, and the trailer is Street Soldier. The leader is Wheatshift. Wheatshift comes to call on the outside to take the lead. Toyi's on the far outside. Bluey works between. Can't Be Broken angles for a run. On the far outside, it's Spanish Fury with 1/8 of a mile to go. It's Wheatshift who now has the lead by almost 2. Far outside, Spanish Fury begins to motor. Wheatshift is almost home.
Yeah.
Spanish Fury surging to him on the outside. Wheatshift digs in. Wheatshift hangs on. Spanish Fury second. Can't Be Broken third. Toyi.
I appreciate at least reading the race correctly, Chris, that the favorites there were not anything we wanted to touch.
Nope.
The 4 ended up winning. Oh, that was the top pace horse. So 6 and 8 both ran great. 9 broke slow, first time starter, but that's the way we roll.
He wanted to get in the gate. He just didn't want to get out of the gate.
I know, right? Yeah.
4-6-8-1 there, or 4-6-1-8, I believe.
All right. I know we talked about covering an aqueduct race. Did you look at this one? I did not. I did not get a chance, but we'll do this one on the fly. Did you look at all here?
Aqueduct race 3. Yeah, I think I got some notes on this one. Let me get it over there. And 3 scratch. Yeah, this is the one that had 2. This is the one where on most, I'm going to guess on most multi-race wagers, pick 4s, pick 5s, that the betting public would just take the 1 and the 6 here. So I think there was a decent. I don't have the
6 is 3 for 3 at the distance. This is a good allowance race, to be honest. I mean, I looked really quick, and these 2 horses are taking so much of the win percent. In the 1 or 6, the 5, the long shot. I mean, maybe, when you look here from an SOR perspective, it actually looks fairly competitive, right? I mean,
yeah,
these are all fairly lightly raced horses. I would not be surprised, Chris, to see Dot's Dollar run a good race.
Well, yeah, and that's my friend Linda Rice, the trainer. So she loves to beat me, and I'm just wondering when her suspension starts.
I know, man. Like, there was a horse somebody posted on Twitter, and it was a horse that went from Linda Rice to, I think it was like Mark Cassidy or something. And the buyer figure went up like 40 points. And somebody was like, this is interesting. And it just kind of made me think of you in that. I'm like, what's going on with that horse? Like, what's been the deal with Linda Rice, and how does Cassie improve a horse that much, And it's like, I don't know. Maybe something was going on.
I think that the juice was included with the horse transfer.
Yeah.
all I can make of that. I mean, you got Rob Atras here and Mike Maker, Rob on the trainer of the 1 and Maker a trainer on the 6. Dylan Davis has been winning some races, but this one is probably going to come down to jocks. I mean, going 6 furlongs, you got only 5 horses here, but it's not something I think I would get heavily invested in if I did. And, our friend Bezos here, this horse just shows up in usually the weirdest of spots. He's been all over the place. This horse was highly touted at one point as well, but I don't give him much of a chance today.
Yeah, I mean, this horse 4% off 2%. I don't love that. At least not 1, but not running well, not really Does not look in form. I know the work report was okay on this, but I actually got to pull this up on my iPad.
Yeah, I don't have the work set for EquinEdge yet, but I mean, it's just and the crazy thing is you're getting what 6-5 and 8-5 on both of them. They're paying 1-6 is paying $4 in the exacta, and 6-1 is paying $4. So there really isn't much here. I mean, Rudy hasn't been winning any races either.
Yeah, Jose hanging out over at Aqueduct. I mean, on the 6 for Maker. I mean, even money on the morning line. I mean, this source is. I mean, so here if we look at this, so you always like to try to figure out, like, can you actually get an exacta that might pay a little bit of something versus just a 1-6-6-1? So the 6. So if you look at the pace, the 1's going to go, the 4's going to sit on the outside. The first thing I look is like, have you been on the rail? You have not. You are very fast, though, so that's a good thing. With all that said, this horse stopped really bad in a 64 in the 7 hole. So I look, and I'm like, okay, you were overtaken, and that was an easy lead. And when you get the lead, you traditionally hold on. But, this is a tough little allowance race, and now you're going to be on the rail, which I don't even know if you're comfortable with because you haven't been there in 8 straight races. And so I look at somebody like Bezos, Chris, and comes off the rail. What I'm trying to do is say, I like the 6 best here is what I'm trying to get at. And I don't like you, but I hope you just completely press the 1 and the 6 is able to sit the trip. So then I look and I'm like, well, you're really fast and you probably need the lead, right? So, and then I'm like, okay, you also, I mean, you won some 70s. I mean, I'm looking at this that I don't really like the 1 at that price because the 6 is so fast and so is the 4. The 4 in my mind has no shot. I think the question is, can Rot Keen, I guess is the name of this horse, can this horse, like, does it need the lead? If it does, I mean, the 5 is even fast. The 5 ain't going to get the lead, I don't think. I mean, there's no way. There's a lot of speed here.
Yeah. Tony likes the 1. Tony says 1-5 exacta, $40. That's his play.
So Tony, my only concern is that horse is going to get a lot of pressure. And so I don't like seeing stuff like this for me, Tony, like 70, 64, 64, 64. It gets an easy, this is the ones I don't like. Gets an easy lead and stops bad. Gets an easy lead and stops bad. And the 1 now going to be on the rail. So I would assume there's no way that Jose is going to let that horse have an easy trip. It's just not going to happen. So unless this horse is just so fast and other people don't break, I would be concerned that horse is going to stop on the rail with all that pressure that's going to come down on it from being on the rail. But, I guess we'll see. I mean, somebody could sit, but I just don't know. So the first thing I would look at is, are these horses good enough? And the 5 might be, but we have no idea because none of these, I'm watching the video on the other screen, y'all. So sources off the claim. Linda Rice, I mean, I don't know, Chris, I mean, what's she going to do with this horse? I mean, Dylan jumps on 23%. I mean, I don't think the problem with the 2 is, like, I don't know how this horse is good enough. Like, it's just, those are really bad, like, weaker races, and it's not running well.
So basically I think what you're saying is just bet the 6-5 exacta cold and put a few bucks on that and call it good.
That's probably what I would play. I would think the 1's going to stop, 6 wins, 5 gets second. That's how I would play it, Tony. But I value, Tony, your opinion because you're a good handicapper. So you might be right on the 1. We'll see.
6-5 over 7-2 is paying $9 right now. 9-1. Not bad. Seems like Aqueduct has a good 3 or 4 minute post track every race too nowadays.
I know, it looks really nice in New York, though.
Bezos has gone in. Here's Dots Dollar. Bezos.
Hey, Wiz, good to see you, buddy.
Not in quite
Keelan
yet.
pick 6 day. Good luck if you're playing. It starts here in 40 minutes, I think. Yeah, it starts in race 5.
Rodney to the outside. That's it. All set.
Gareth, are you referring to the University of Kentucky or the United Kingdom?
No.
Good speed to the outside from Dots Dollar. Excellent timing is in the early mix. They're all lining up here. Bezos in between.
That's where Lexington is. Let's see, UK is there. There
Sure.
goes the 1.
Battling quartet as they work up the backstretch. They fly early. It's excellent timing. And 4 to 5 is up by a head. Here comes the pressure from Rodney out the center of the racetrack. They're now 1-2. Taking off the pace is Dots Dollar. Bezos from off the pace this afternoon is under a drive from 4th. And far back is the trailer Pressure. 21-4 from pumped up opening quarter mile. It's Rodney with a head in front. Excellent timing is trying to come back to the inside. Right in behind them, Dots Dollar is looming there. It's Dots Dollar in the purple.
One
is looking for a seam as Rodney is
5 going to run a monster race, but
after Rodney, as they approach a quarter mile left to go, and excellent timing is going to hug the rail. Is back in it for more. It is Rodney at the top of the strip. Before half-mile time, Dots Dollar with the challenge on the grandstand side, and here's Dylan Davis.
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by that. Like, I actually wish I would have said save 5-6, but so the hey Lexi, you can see. So the problem there, Tony, is like that horse had not been on the rail, right? So the first I don't even need to talk about it because this is the things that concern me, you guys, when you see stuff like this, because it got an easy lead and stopped. It's not going to get an easy lead there. I mean, they went 22, right? And like, that's where I immediately, and have not been on the rail. Like, it's just so hard, right? You got to be much the best to do things like that. And, it just wasn't going to happen. The play, Chris, was to play both or box them. I mean, you could box them or just save, because with the 5 over the 6 pay.
I moved on, but I'll go back and look for you. Somebody tweet out to Linda and ask her when her suspension starts for me, Linda. 5-6 paid 18-1.
Yeah, see, so that would have been the situation you should box, because if you're gonna get 9-1 cold, just box it as the saver, and then you get 18-1, and or just play your. You don't have to box it. Just play your opinion one, and then save on the other, and figure out. You could play half the amount if you want, and then you're getting. Essentially you're getting the same amount in either situation. You could do like a $10 cold and a $5 saver, and you're still winning the same amount, right? So
yeah, and the 6-5 actually floated up to 11-1 at post. So
yeah,
everything hammered. The 1-5 and the 1-6 both got hammered. 1-5 was 4-1, 1-6 was 3-1. So clearly, your analysis on the 1 was spot on. Getting the rail, getting into a speed duel. The 6 could have sat a little bit more and to just let the 1 go a little bit, and probably could have still caught him. But
yeah,
we all know that Jose is not as smart as his brother.
Yeah, the only thing I would say on that, although the 1 was having to send, he's going to go 22 no matter what, and the horse probably stops. But if you don't put it in, because the 4 had no shot, right? That horse not going to get the lead. That backed out so fast. So, the 5 just sat right behind the speed there, and was in the speed a little bit, and then sat back and just dropped back. So.
All right, let's talk Keeneland. Keeneland we got coming up in 7 minutes. It's race 4, so it's the start of the pick 7, which doesn't exist. So that means what I sometimes like to do here when I'm playing a pick 6 ticket is, if I have a horse that I really like in race 5, which I think you do, is what kind of double can we play to that? We'll kind of double from 4 to 5. I know you like I believe you like the 4 in the 5th race, right?
Yeah. My only comment here on Greg, this is a tough allowance race. Like the 4 could win, but I could see a price, man. These horses, I wish I would have. The 14, I think, has a shot, and I kind of forgot about this horse. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, oh, like, but yeah, I don't know. I thought the 1 here, the 1's not even the EquinEdge picks, but it's the top win. I thought this horse getting smashed. I thought this horse would be really difficult, Chris.
It is. It's another 4-star work. I watched the work. Looks really nice. Finished very well. Has every chance. Gets Tyler every chance to win the race for sure. And for some of these, I don't try and get too cute with them. If we look at what a 1-4 double is paying into the next, it's paying 6 to 1. But there are a few. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 horses in the next race that are paying over $100.
Are you saying
like the 14? I'm saying like the one in race 4.
Mm-hmm.
To like you like the 14 in race 5?
Yes.
That's paying $88.
Yeah, so I mean, you could do for, let's say, 16. So if because I'm gonna do it for $2. So I thought this horse might be a single, would be really tough here. Speed, Gaff, Brennan Walsh. Speed's in holding on the dirt 2 turns. We just heard that in all those other races. So I'm very much going to play the bias there. I'm going to fix this because we're going to play this for $2. No, we're going to do? We'll play it for $4 because we'll use 4 horses. We'll play it for $8. All right. So System wants to use 1, 3, 11, 14. I thought the 11 was interesting as a bomber. The 12 was interesting as a bomber. I'd probably play the 11, but we'll see here. So but I would definitely use the 14, Chris. I think the 4's got to be used. It wants to use the long shot, right, too, with the speed, but that's brutally tough on the turf. Anybody here that you thought was interesting? I didn't really like the 2.
Yeah, the 5 I liked, but unfortunately he's not running today.
7 was interesting.
High front, yeah, decent work on that horse too. I didn't catch the video of that, but it was working with Wolfie's Dynaghost, and they were running pretty well together from what I read. You said the system is giving out the 1, 3, 7, and 14.
No, well, the 1, 3, and then it would probably give you. It would give the 7. So if we go back and do this, and then I'm at. Oh no! Well, no, we need the 4. I forgot about the 4. I'm not a big fan of the 3. I don't necessarily trust this horse. I mean, it's off the layoff, but it is 20%. It's the second EquinEdge pick. I guess I would play 1, 3, 4, 7, 14 for $10.
I'm in.
All right.
Congratulations. Best play successfully.
1-1 double. I think, Bill, I mean, that's definitely on the board. Let me
It's paying 23 to 1, Bill. Not bad. Hey, Ron. How goes it? Hello, Lexi. And then, Justin, I guess since we're going to have like 20 minutes between this one and the next one, you want to spend after this race goes off at Keeneland, you just want to talk pick 6 for 15 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got to pull up, y'all. I'm pulling Keeneland up on my second monitor so we can listen in. Looks like we got 2 minutes. Pick 6 is incoming. Anybody have who did you all like as your pick 6 singles?
Whenever I hear that, I'll date myself. It makes me think of MASH.
It's always a good sound, man.
Radar used to play that on the bugle very poorly. You want me to post the pick 6 tickets we played on Twitter?
You can. I am changing the one of them though, just so everybody. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I meant to add the 14 and not the 12. Hold on.
Yeah, it's always good to get them right. Reminds me of the first one that Oldie and I ever did together at Aqueduct 3 years ago. And we ended up canceling it before it went off. And then, of course, it hit for like 10,000.
I reposted it. So if you want to grab it, that was the only change, was just the first leg. All right. They are...
I'll cut this up so that it
yeah, you'll have to.
6.
They are approaching. Dirt has been extremely speed favoring. I think the one's going to be tough here because of that. I personally, I in the second leg, I like the 4 and 14 best. I would, I'd play a 1 into the 4 and 14 if it was me.
Is the red line on at the Keeneland Racecourse?
The red line, what's that mean?
The red light, like they,
yes,
they have it.
Like at Golden Gate.
Everybody should have a red light, or maybe a blue light for a blue light special. Okay, let me find the show tweet.
First wire, they are at the post. And they're off. It goes Loved for the early lead. Loved right out running to the front, and here comes Magic Palace to her outside. Forever After All will go a close-up third, and Autism Community is away running in fourth, down toward the inside. Queen Horses in fifth. Her Ladyship is a wide sixth, and a break of 5 more lengths to Bedtime for Buffy, who's last, moving midway on the first turn.
Bedtime for Buffy
is the leader. Loved against
the Vampire Slayer.
Of a length. Forever After All, second by 3 lengths. Magic Palace third by 3. Then Texas Melody just to the outside of Autism Community.
Go away, 7.
Into fourth. Her Ladyship is fifth, and a gap of 7 more lengths. Bedtime for Buffy is last. It was 23.98 seconds.
Not fast, man.
Quarter. Up the backstretch.
No.
Loved is the leader. Forever After All.
Not.
For Flake in second. Gap of 2.
That horse went off at 1-2.
Community. Texas on the outside. Her Ladyship back toward the rail. Still a long way back to Bedtime for Buffy. Last 48.17 seconds was the time for the first half mile. Loved is the leader. Forever After All is right there to the outside. Half length separating the top 2. Gap of 5 lengths back to Magic Palace, who's third. Autism Community is in fourth. Her Ladyship is fifth.
One gonna pull away, man.
Coming to the quarter pole, and it is Loved who continues to show the way. Loved is leading it by 2 lengths, by 3 lengths.
Tyler Gaff can be like, peace. See ya.
Yeah.
Back to Her Ladyship.
5 coming. I don't think that horse can win. It's probably going to get second. Not even going to get second. 1 makes it look easy, man.
With a wide
Yeah.
6th lead. Back to Forever After All. Her Ladyship, Magic Palace fourth. It is Loved.
I mean, that horse is going to win by 12 lengths.
Yeah. That's why it's 1-2.
Was home at the second spot.
Yeah.
Now let's get the 14 home in the next for 65-1. That's just incredible. I mean, when you look, that's the thing is that that's been trending on Twitter lately in horse racing Twitter world is all of the implied odds, imputed odds, and everything else. I mean, here you're pairing a 1-2 horse that wins by 12 with what is the morning line on the 14 with a 12-1 horse. You would not expect to get $65 there for a buck.
Mm-mm. I mean, it's actually good. I'm actually glad that's why I love having you on, man, because you it's one of the most important things I would say that a lot of people is pay attention to probables. And I've done that for, I wouldn't say always, because I didn't even know about it when I first started playing, right? But I've done that for a long time because when you have an opinion, to your point, you can get just in whether it's exacto or doubles, you can find insane value, because you can find things. And, in a situation like that with the one, like you said, is, hey, let's find some value. And Bill, I think you paired it with the one. You're going to get, what's the 1-1 paying there? I would guess it's a similar number.
The 1-1 with Love. For some reason, did the one scratch in the next?
No. Detroit City, not yet.
I'm looking at the will pays.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at exacta. Sorry, 14-1, Justin. 14-1.
Oh, so not, yeah. I mean, you're not getting much value there at 15. I mean, you're getting what you would expect, really. But no, it's that's insane, Gareth. I want to come and play. Oh no, you're saying in race 5. I was talking the double. Maybe you're talking the same. I thought you were saying the one in the last race, man. I'm like, I want to come to the UK and play. But Chalky can get into a price, though, to your point, like in a daily double or exacta. Don't just play chalk unless you think it's chalk, but try to find some value. So,
well, Parker had one. I don't know if you saw this one the other day. You may have been busy working like I did. Let me see if I can quickly find it, because it was, and he lives in Canada, so he can't play in our pick 5 pools or any of that stuff. He played a $10 double to that $113 horse or whatever it was at Keeneland the other day. He paid like $3,400. Now it's Canadian money, so you got to do the math there, but still, it was an insane amount. And he found that based upon the will pays, because the will pays in the U.S. pools were $85. So that's where you can really get some value in those things, and that's what I've been working with Brad on, because that's all he does. And now I sent you that spreadsheet in terms of how to figure out what some of these imputed odds are, and looking at the double pools and so on and so forth, because strangely enough, the computers don't hammer the double pools. They hammer the win pools, as we see that at Keeneland when horses go off at whatever, and then they're 12-1, and all of a sudden by the time they get in the winner's circle, they're 6-1.
But isn't that because the takeout is so bad?
Takeout's not bad at Keeneland. It's just that Keeneland allows
on the doubles though.
Takeout on the doubles, Keeneland is not the best, but you also don't have to fight the computers there. So it's kind of a give and take. But Aqueduct, I mean, they kick the computers out at 5 minutes to post, and they're not in any of the pick 4, pick 5 pools or the pick 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We just did Keeneland. What time is it? 42. I don't know if Gulfstream's available or if they're going to go off. Yeah, Gulfstream 0 minutes to post, and it's off.
Yeah, it went.
All right, we got 23 minutes to the start of the pick 6. You want to kick it off? I'm going to fill up my drink cup. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I will. I thought this was an interesting sequence, you all. Like after looking at it, I think the first leg, I think the 6 horse is interesting. There's a group of people we all played kind of 3 different singles. Oldie put one together, I put one together, and then Lexi, I took your ticket kind of with Nate's and tried to put something together. So I think the first leg though, I thought the 4 might be a single. Y'all, Gregory's Pride, this horse. The weather looks great, Corey. I mean, I've heard it looks great, but I've heard it's supposed to start raining though, but after the races, so maybe it will hold off. But if you're that close, that could be scary. But I, here's my thought on this race. So I personally, just so y'all, I do not like the rail like at all turf sprinting. I like to find prices on the outside from an outside post. I thought that the 11 and the 14 could be bombers. I like that the 14 was 4%. I wish the 11 or 12 were. This 14 horse, y'all, I thought was interesting. He's coming from Turfway Park, which I don't love, but second off a layoff, GSR goes up to 65. Get rid of this race. It's lightly raced, 9 tries. It's a bomber, but it's a good post. But I didn't think this was I thought the later turf races were a lot more competitive. Maybe I'll be wrong. I think you needed some coverage here, though, but I didn't necessarily see the bomb coming here. I didn't really like the 11. I think you have to use it if you're spreading with the EquinEdge long shot. I thought the 4 is working monster, I've heard. It's going to get a good pace. Trip, going to be interesting. Pratt's going to have to navigate for sure. The 3 horse, Catamosto, I mean, this horse was coming from overseas, had a tough trip last out. It's dropping in class. Florent Giroux rides. I mean, it could get a good trip. I thought the 7, Chris, was interesting. I mean, high front. I was asking about this horse when we were doing the double. I mean, Saez jumps on. You look here, right? I mean, so this is what I like to see. Okay, you won sprinting in a 48. You come back. They obviously think a lot of it. You're in the 5 hole. You run off, a 3-month layoff at Gulfstream, which is tough, in a 66, and you run well. And then you come over to Belmont, you run well, and then you go on a layoff, which is fine. Maybe something happened. We don't know. Didn't run great here, but that was a 76. So big layoff, but they point to Keeneland, which, Chris, the one thing I've learned about Keeneland is, like, don't worry about layoffs. Like, people are going to have their horse ready because you're not shipping in here for 110,000 allowance. I mean, you're going to have your horse fit. So Saez jumps on for Jonathan Thomas. I think this horse is really sneaky at 5-1. Must use. Get some more of an outside post. I want to be in like post 7 to 12. That's where I want to be on turf sprinting, which is why I thought the 1 and 3 were vulnerable. 2 horse at 4%. It's an inside post, which I don't love, but the GSR does jump. A lot of people won't see this horse, but it's only 4%. So I did think Gregory's Pride, though, would be tough, y'all. It's taking money. EquinEdge liked it. It's only 13%, though. I can't, Chris, I can't bet that horse at 13% at 5-2 with the potential of having a price or something. So,
yeah, I agree with you there. And I think what the double on the 4 is paying $6. So, I mean, you got that one covered with the double. The interesting thing here, it's kind of strange, is that they've got the pick 6 going off, but this also starts the turf pick 3. So they kind of got, 2. I don't know if the pick 6 pool is going to take more money than that one, but in terms of the turf pick 3, 3, 4, 13 was kind of what I was thinking. And then single to 3 in the next turf leg, and then the 4, 5 at the end. I'd probably play that one for $6.
It'll be interesting. So everybody will use this horse on their their pick six, except for me. I did not use this horse, Red Hot Rod. It's Wesley Ward on the turf. He's gonna take money, but this horse don't want. I mean, you look here, it's got a good number, but the problem, man, like, I don't know if this horse wants to sprint in the reality of it. I mean, I could be wrong and this horse wants to, but that was my concern here with Red Hot Rod. I mean, the GSR drop, it's sprinted on the Tapeta and won, and it's Wesley Ward, but this is deeper waters here. You're jumping from allowance, and I don't like that the win percent went down. Like, those are situations where, you know, and it's taking money, of course. So I'll be curious what happens with that horse. I could be dead wrong, and that horse wins, and, you know, you get 5 or 6 to 1 or something, but it might run a good race. I just don't know if it can win.
Well, that's why you structured the pick six tickets the way you did, the 3 of them, right? Because you've got the 1, 3, 4, 7, 11, 13 on one ticket, the 1, 3, 4, 7, 13 on another. And then on the last one, you dropped the 13 all together and you added the 14. So
yeah.
The variety of coverage there at the prices is good, because even if your 13 does win, heck, we're still going to have 2 tickets alive and moving forward. So the turf pick 3 is just, you know, that one is a kind of a different mindset wager because of the base price, right? Because people aren't going to play $240 tickets on the turf pick 3. Well, maybe some of them are, but most of them aren't.
I thought I really like this race. I thought Irad could be really, really tough here on the 2, even though Source can be inside. But I thought that the 6 horse potentially, like, it could have been a potential single. That my concern is that there's not a lot of pace in this race, but this horse was really dangerous in my mind. I know the 4 is the EquinEdge long shot, but, you know, the 6 horse comes off a layoff. They point here, but it's coming out of California. You know, they don't always run well, but, you know, Sias rides for Grand Motion. You know, I think this horse will be interesting. But I didn't necessarily love the 1 horse. You know, I think this is the Cox. Yeah, Florent Giroux gets off the 5, which was a 1%er. But, you know, coming from overseas, ran in a 62 here. And the horse is definitely, I mean, maybe he's going to like the ground better, but I don't know.
What about the 3 there? What do you make of the 3 there? As Oldie would say, he could make a hat, he could make a brooch.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one. I mean, it's similar thing as the 1, right? I mean, that's both these horses coming from overseas. Walsh, Gaffleon rides. I mean, it won last out in a 62, you know, and its prior win was in a 42 and then couldn't compete. That'd be my concern. Having the SOR is, like, I'm not sure this horse is good enough.
And that's one thing that Oldie and I talk about a lot, which is the overseas horses and the SOR. How much trust do you really put into that? I mean, I wouldn't say that it's something you just throw out, but if I like a horse like that, I'm probably not going to worry about the SOR on it for just being first time in the States, right? If it's gone back and forth a few times, you can get a little bit of a measure on it, if you will. But it's first time US.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the win percent over there, which makes sense, actually, because we know the win percent's been pretty wonky. Morning Line doesn't like it, which, whether that's true, you know, it's always tough on these shippers like this, but on the 1, it's a lot more. But my other thing is, you know, you look at on the 3, Walsh 13%, Gaff 17. It's pretty amazing that Gaffleon only hits at 11% for Brendan Walsh. When they both hit at a higher rate, you know, it's like, and he rides that many times, right? So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think this is an interesting race. I do think there's just not a lot of pace here. I think Fastest Flight with Irad's, he's just gonna sit off this 5. And if this horse doesn't go fast, Irad's gonna sit the trip here and could win pretty easily. But we'll see.
Well, you know what day of the week it is. It's Friday, and you can't spell Friday without IRAD in it. So he's won a lot of races on Friday over the last few months, but that was mainly at Gulfstream.
Yeah, Nick, I see your comment if you're talking about the two. I mean, I only see the one race here, but so keep in mind, like, this is why I don't necessarily love the 2-hole, but I like it better than the 1-hole, to be honest. But it is the worst having the 1-hole on the turf at Keeneland, in my opinion. That turf course goes up and down on the backside. It's raining at Keeneland. That's no good. Goes up and down on the backside. It's like a slight hill coming around the turn. You're getting like the worst of it in there. And like, I want my horses, to be sitting kind of middle posts and just try to get a trip. But which I rad my guess what you're gonna do is let the 5 go and you're gonna shift out a couple like lengths, not lengths, but you're gonna shift out a little bit, a couple post positions off the rail and just kind of try to gallop out there. This is but these are competitive, Chris. I mean, these turf races can be insanely competitive when you see, 9%, 6%, 10, 5. I mean, okay, cut the 5, cut the 9, but you end up with a fairly competitive race still.
Hey, well, we got a few minutes here. Flip on over to Aqueduct Race 4. This was one where I thought the 3, the only first-time starter in a race of not what appears to be not very good horses. I mean, you got a 75 square
GSR, man.
Yeah,
I mean just
7%. And then look, you got Rob Atras and you got Kendrick Carmouche. They're hitting at 22%.
Yeah, that's a bet, man. I mean, you like seeing that. I mean, Carmouche's 15% hits at 22. That's a lot of rides, man. I mean, in a race like this, to your point, he places this horse at the right area. I mean, if that horse is EquinEdge long shot, I'm hammering it. I 3 and 7 are my favorite numbers, so I just play both of those. But this is a good call with the GSR like that, man. To be honest.
Do you have the Aqueduct works up? I don't.
Yeah, the dual entry is working well. And then the everybody else got about 2-star ranks. So okay. I don't see a lot. When I see that, I don't necessarily take a lot from it because I expect a Chad Brown to have a 3-star work, and then I expect all that other stuff to just kind of be trying to figure it out. Everybody else, I mean, like
I said, I was just looking for, is the 3, did the 3 have a 3 or a 4-star workout?
I was looking at long race. The 3 has a 3-star work, and so does the 4, and so does the 2. So I would expect the 3-horse Chris to run really well, in my opinion. I think that horse is going to be. I'm going to bet the horse to win. As long as I get my bet in time. I got to jump over. We got this on Keeneland, Aqueduct. Are they in the gate yet?
No, they're still walking there.
Oh, good.
They're getting ready to go in, though.
I'm with you on the 3, though. I mean, I think this horse is working well versus a really, just not a great field.
And Scotty would love it, too, because it's an overlay on the morning line. I'm kidding.
But yeah, no, I mean, 3-horse all day, in my opinion, at Aqueduct.
And the 4, let's see, the 4 and the, what was the other one with the 2 and the 4 had the other works?
3, 4, 2, I think. 2, 3, 4.
And succeed.
Getting 8 to 1 on the 3, though.
Let's see if this 3-horse
succeed
does anything.
Goes in. Olsen.
By the way, I really like Chris Griffin at Aqueduct. I think he's doing a great job.
Global Image is going to be in the Olympics, and it's the great Global Image in front. Down wider is going to be Steady Progress. Succeed is right there. In between horses, there is Magical Ways.
6-horse is not like he's run, or the 3-horse is not comfortable.
No.
Side is way up on the far outside of the racetrack, and the trailer Golden Purchase. Pretty intently much there.
Well, Carmouche got him on outside to get away from the kickback.
Ways who's up by a neck.
That is a good point. That's probably what was happening. He was really not liking the kickback.
Global image. That's the grade up to the inside, 23-4 for that opening quarter mile. Financial strength. Dylan Davis watching this pace up front is right in behind the leaders. Up on the far outside, here comes the run from Pejadu, who's now within 2.5 of the lead, and the trailer, Golden Purchase. They approach a half mile left to go. 48-1 for that half mile time. It's Magical Ways still in front. Magical Ways is doing it nicely so far. Steady progress is under a drive here from second, starts to inch closer. Succeed is going to be up on the outside. Pejadu is following that move with financial strength as Global Image starts to back out of it. Golden Purchase has trailed throughout. They're approaching a quarter mile left to go. Magical Ways is still in front. It's still in hand. Reaches the top of the stretch, and now Magical Ways gets the cue and kicks for home. It's Magical Ways who's quickly up by 2 lengths. Steady progress continues.
Seven going to run good, but again, get second.
Strength, but Magical Ways is striding clear right now. Succeed is trying to move closer. Magical Ways, Succeed down to these two for a final 16th. It's Magical Ways down towards the inside. Succeed up on the far outside. Magical Ways, Succeed. Magical Ways takes them.
Ran a good race, the 7, but 4 was much the best there. Bill, where's it raining? It's raining at Keeneland? Turn the video on. They're in the paddock. It looks. Oh, it is. You can see that people got their umbrellas out. It must not be too bad. It's probably just little drops. There's a lot. There's a lot of people under cover though. So, but it doesn't look like it's raining too much.
Yeah, let's just hope they don't take the races off the turf. That'll screw everything up.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's going to rain enough. They run that turf with a little bit of rain, but there's the 13 showing up. Oh, it stopped raining. That's good, Scott. That's what I like. Those people still got their umbrella, though. I think they might think it's still raining.
Oh, the Caton Bradar pick 6.
Oh, did she put it to? What'd she single? We talked about the first race. I thought Morning Cup here would be really tough on the dirt sprinting with Irad. You know, these horses all won. This horse won twice, but all won once, really. This horse has a big pace advantage with Irad for Al Stall. Comes out of Fairgrounds, third off the layoff. You know, I just don't see a lot of pressure, you know. Appeal denied. This horse don't got much speed, to be honest. I didn't love this. I had a note here that there was not a great maiden special win. Came back as a 48, but I thought, Chris, this horse might get an easy lead and just be gone on the dirt. Or Irad hasn't rode for Al Stall in the last year, so.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's Friday, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Irad win here. I also wouldn't be surprised to see people single this horse.
Yeah, I singled this horse in one ticket. Like, I thought that it had a big shot. You could add some coverage on others. 2 horses, you know, it was a little bit interesting, but I didn't love this going down to 11%. It's 20%, which really confused me. But it just keeps dropping. I mean, this horse been dropping and dropping and dropping. The situation though, pace always makes the race. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you can continue your drop because it's not going to matter if the pace doesn't set up for you, because it's the pace has been holding on the dirt going 2 turns. So we'll see what happens on 1 turn. But that was my thought here in the second leg of the pick 6.
You know,
this leg, go ahead, Chris.
Back to the 1 real quick. It broke its maiden here on the lead at going 7 furlongs last fall.
Yep. Wired the field. Yep.
And if you watched the workout on this one, I mean, I know it's a 2-star work, but if you watch the actual workout on it, it was quickly pulling the horse up on the gallop out was clearly by design. They didn't want that horse to expend too much energy in this race, in that workout. So, and that was, on 4:14, and here we are back 7 days later, and Al's probably got that horse ready to fire, which is why Irad's agent, got him marked up for that, even though they haven't ridden together in a year. So the story kind of works for me on the one, especially as a single. I can't hear you, Justin.
No, you're good. I was looking at
Okay.
something. I'm just looking at the weather real quick here at Lexington. Yeah, I think this horse will be tough. I think it could be the chalk in the sequence. Again, if we go back to the first leg, I just think this is a highly competitive race. I think a lot could happen here. Sprinting on the turf. This is where you find prices, y'all. Like, I would not be surprised to see one of these bombers come in second. I think the 14 is very dangerous. 13, talked about Hot Red, Hot Rod. A lot of people are using it. I get it. It's a Wesley. He's sprinting on the turf. Horse wants the turf, but in reality, this horse wants 2 turns for the most part. It's a 61 here, so but we'll see. I mean, he might have that horse perfect and ready to go, and horse should get a good trip from an outside post. So, leg 3, the other turf race, Chris. This one was interesting. The race 7, a lot of EquinEdge angles here. The 6 horse, probably one of the best ones. I mean, you get a first-time starter. It's only a 51 GSR, but this horse is not bred well. But it's the top EquinEdge pick, 9-2 EquinEdge morning line. And then you end up with somebody like the 5, right? It's 32%. It's the EquinEdge long shot. So the system may have this race pretty dialed from a price perspective. So we'll see. They're going to be sprinting on the dirt. 4, I don't know. This horse, Chris, is big pace advantage. I would assume the 6 will show some speed, being a first-time starter, but this horse might be dangerous. I mean, it's only 3%, but the problem here, I would say, is this horse cheap? Because it really stopped bad in that 44, but then it nearly wired in a 56, both at Laurel Park.
Which, by the way, is canceled racing indefinitely due to not being able to have a dirt course.
Yeah, you said that. I didn't know that they were having trouble.
Well, they've been having trouble for a while, and they replaced the dirt course 2 years ago, and it's been problematic ever since. They've tried to fix spots and everything else, and then there was a Blood Horse article, I think, within the last week, 10 days, where all of the capital planning to rebuild Pimlico and Laurel is out the door. All the money's going to go to Pimlico. So Laurel is not going to exist in a couple of years. They may make it a training facility. It may turn into something else, but all the action is going to go to Pimlico.
Nick, we can. I'm totally willing. It's actually very useful, the GSR Plus, so if we
especially race 7, because that's a maiden race, and GSRs and maiden races. I played a ticket last week at Remington, and it was a 50-cent base, $15 ticket, and I just took the top 3 GSR of the 3 first of the first-time starters in that race, which there were like half the field, and just took that. I liked the 5 as a single in the next at 6-1, and then went all in the last. And the top GSR won, and it was the 10 horse at like 18-1. My single hit at 6-1, and then I caught a price in the last with the 3, and it paid $1,400.
Yeah, that's nice.
Those are the ones that you want to find, because you don't necessarily need to play big tickets to get big scores. What you need to do is play smaller tickets with bigger prices that come in that get you those bigger scores.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think in this situation, Nick, you look at somebody like the 3 first-time starter top GSR. This horse win the race, man. It's 5%. You go here, GSR plus. This horse actually run on the turf too, and you can kind of go through each horse, right? 9, and you can look and sort here and find out, this horse, nicely bred. Brandon Walsh, Joel Rosario. I tried to get to use this ticket, but I found it really hard from a budget perspective. But this horse can be dangerous in race 7. But you can use it, look at if a horse wants the distance or wants the surface.
Yeah, it's really, it can Rosario get the first time starter out of the gate too.
Yeah. Good point, man. I mean, when you look at it from a pace perspective, he's going to have to, because he's got to get somewhat. He can't be way too far back. That's where the 6 is going to be interesting. This horse is going to go very fast. Just question for Ray Lou going to be, can he hang on?
Yeah.
And in a maiden special like this, because this horse coming out of claiming company and couldn't wire the field, but it almost did here on the first. I mean, in the 56. Is what's going to happen today. Probably can get easy lead. I'm going to try to hold on.
Well, the pick 6 is, it's going to be over 3 million.
We will, Tony. We'll look at it all. We're going to spend a lot of time on Keeneland. They're loading, though. Let me get my sound on for everybody. Little bit of rain, but that's nothing. That's not going to impact anything.
We should have checked the wet grass GSR. I tell you that wet GSR number really works good for quarter horses. I mean,
what were we the double, Chris? We were live to 1, 3, 4, 7, 14.
That's correct.
They are at the post.
I saw somebody post on Twitter today they didn't like Kurt Becker. Why wouldn't you like Kurt Becker? He's great.
The front, here's Catamosto, and here is High Front. Catamosto to the lead. High Front goes to the second position. Jura third. Charging Arrow is in fourth. Trust Daddy is fifth. Red Hot Rod sixth up on the outside. Foliage seventh. Wide onto the far turn. Apache Tears moves up between horses in eighth. Gregory's Pride is ninth down toward the inside. And then Detroit City, who travels in the 10th position. BD Valesky is 11th. Caffrey last of the 12. 21.27 seconds for the opening quarter. Catamosto leading High Front by a length around the far turn. Then a gap of just over 2 more lengths. Trust Daddy is in third. Gregory's Pride against the rail fourth. Charging Arrow is in fifth. Jura sixth between that pair. 7 from the lead. High Front right alongside of Catamosto. Then a gap of 3 more lengths. Back to Gregory's Pride and also Trust Daddy, who's there but fourth down toward the inside. Here comes Gregory's Pride running after High Front. And then comes Trust Daddy in the third position. It is Gregory's Pride, High Front, BD Valesky running late, then Trust Daddy down to the line. This will be close. A head-bobbing photo for the win to get us started in the pick 6.
4-1. Ours, I told Chris ours might be a single, but yeah, Chuck, it came 4-7. I think that was not a there wasn't a lot there for Bombers, but I didn't necessarily you saw the 2 coming. That horse had a little bit of interest because it was switching over to the turf, y'all. I think we might have talked about that for a second, but you see the big GSR increase. You get a 4% horse, but it came way too late and, couldn't get up.
Well, I'd take a dead heat there, wouldn't you, for the pick 6?
Yeah.
It will either be Gregory's Pride or High.
I got refresh.
The 6 gave me a little bit of scare. I was like, oh, please don't have the 6 run down. We just talked about that.
What was the 6? 6%. Yeah, that horse was bred for the turf sprint. I mean, but just not good enough. I mean, SOR is so good, you all. I mean, it's tough.
back to the betting and everything. We talk about the pick six here, I definitely like the dollar base, but you have to figure on a day like today where they took in 3 million total, that even if this thing somehow goes, a bunch of chalks and second choices, maybe a third, and then maybe a $15 to $17 horse, it's still going to pay 3, 4, 5 times more than it normally was.
Yeah.
Just because of the pool size.
Yeah, that's where, I don't play a lot of pick sixes, but when you got to carry over $1 million of free money, like you better come at it, because if you're worried about takeout and all of that, which is really, yes, computer assisted wagering is there.
Was first. 7 High Front was second. The 2 BD Valesky third. The 6 Trust Daddy fourth. 4-7-2-6 unofficial.
Well, 4 wins, great race. Should have. And sometimes I wonder about my instincts and should follow them sometimes. Gregory's Pride. This horse was working well. Flavian Pratt dropping an SOR. Got a great trip. He gets the horse up. My biggest concern, this horse just couldn't win, but
we talked about that before we went live about the 4 as a potential single.
Mm-hmm.
Pratt, D'Amato, it all makes sense. It's got great breeding for the turf, blah, blah, blah. But one thing that's very difficult for anybody to do, especially when you're playing a long multi-race wager like a pick six, is singling in leg 1. It's just difficult because your instinct, your defensive mechanism instinct is to take a few there so that you advance to the next one, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a valid point, and I think I don't mind doing it. I think in retrospect, though, I was originally going to single the 1 in the second leg. Because of the dirt bias. And when I looked at the first race, my instinct initially was to single the 4. But when I looked at this race, it was tough with the 7. And I will tell you, that would have been, and it may come through on my notes. The 4 and 7, I use stars, everybody. The 1 was a long shot. I thought it was a little interesting, but I actually thought the 11 had a shot, was only 1%. So in reality, it really didn't. But if I was going to include anybody, but the 2 was another one. That horse I included on when we played some of those pick six tickets, Chris, because of the GSR increase, and ran third. That was the bomber. Most people aren't going to see that, right? And this horse improved really well. And look, it finishes. This horse, though, they need to be on the turf and a little bit easier. This horse probably could hang at Keeneland and win an allowance race, maybe. But it needs a little bit easier, so maybe not Keeneland.
You know what it really needs? A new trainer.
Yeah, Greg Foley. I don't know Greg Foley, but he only hits at 13%, and that's probably causing some of the problem.
Probably.
32 to 1. That's a horse.
Scott.
This is, bet back on the turf, sprinting at 58 to 60 SOR.
Yep. Yeah, Greg, I do remember when exactas were $5 minimums. Those were fantastic times.
I like that Keeneland has the dollar, though. I really do.
Yeah. It's much like New York.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where are we going next? We missed Gulfstream again.
Gulfstream and Keeneland are on a pretty similar path right now. So the only thing we really have next, Oakland's going off, Oakland's going off now. Tampa's in 5 minutes. Aqueduct's in 10 minutes.
Look at this, Tampa on the turf. All right, let's look at this.
Yeah, Tampa on the turf.
They always have good fields. This horse pace advantage here. First thing I'm going to look at, Chris, is I'm going to look at the rail, even though they don't. How come, Tampa? They rarely use a temporary rail at Tampa. How can Tampa, like Gulfstream, they're both in Florida. Tampa always has this like beautiful looking turf course, and nothing against Gulfstream. It's just they use it and then it just gets so torn up. But like, why is there such a difference on the Tampa turf and the Gulfstream turf?
It's probably the crew that's maintaining it, and really what they have to work with. I'm about 25 miles north of the Tampa racetrack, and we have gotten 1 day of rain in the last like 6 weeks. So they're watering the hell out of that course to keep it looking as good as it has. Is it say the rail is out here?
No, but they rarely ever have a temporary rail. And their course always looks so great.
Yeah. And the only weird thing about the Tampa, we're only going 8.5 here, so it's not that bad. When they're all the way backed up in that turf chute, it can make the insides posts a little bit difficult position-wise as you're coming into that bend into the main course. So typically you see a lot of the horses on the outside are going to be, I wouldn't say rushing up, but they're gonna have a little bit more pace on them, especially if they're a pace horse, just to get over, because it's a real nice sweep that you can make versus a little bit more of a left-hand turn from the inside. But this particular race here, I think you're spot on with the pace on the 6. The system likes the 8, which is the top GSR, and then the second GSR is Chica Boom, which is the 9 horse. But the 9 horse hasn't really won at this distance before. On 3 attempts, it's run second and third. So if you're playing any kind of trifectas or exactors or something, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 9 in the second or third slot, along with a horse like the 2, another one that likes to run second and third. 9 runs at this distance on the turf, 1 win, 3 seconds, 2/3. If you're playing a ticket like that.
The 9, I mean, the 9's EquinEdge long shot, right? So I mean, it's good GSR. It has 3 tries. The 8's this horse is only 15%. The one take to the skies. And this horse is the top win percent. O'Connell, Gallardo rides back. Who won last out? This horse will probably get a good trip from the rail. He just can't get all caught up in traffic or anything. 6 horse is taking money one night stand though. This horse is off the claim from a GUI. She only hits at 8%. Diaz rides probably one of her jocks, right?
Yeah.
The 7 Serenade Kitten. I think this horse coming from Gulfstream. It is. I love when I can recognize the names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of scary when you've been watching it that much, you can recognize the names. So you were here for the 1 day of rain, huh, Lex? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It only rained once. And Wiz, you are we're speaking the same language there in terms of the pick 5 and pick 6, in terms of if you really like a horse and you don't single. It's tough to do because you're putting your entire ticket at risk, but the reward on that there is you're going to get more coverage in the other legs.
I think you have to play them, you all, with just no fear. It's how you have to play. Like you. Like if you go out in the first leg, you go out in the first leg. Whether it's the first, the second, the fifth, you just have to play with conviction.
Well, and I think you have to start your day. I mean, one of the things, and I've been listening to the Chris Laramie podcast that he's been doing with all the, Marshall Graham has been on there, and Pylons has been on there, and Matt Miller's one was really good. It's like when he starts his day and sits down, what is my goal? What's my bankroll, and what is my goal? I know we do this with Brad Anderson a lot on the side, which is, all right, today's goal is to try and turn $250 into $3,000. Well, how are you going to do that? You're not going to do that playing every race back to back to back to back, because your win percentage is not going to be that high. So I tend not to, try and do that, but go find the races you like and then go find the prices that you want. And a lot of time for me, the prices will dictate on what I'm going to bet. What do I want? Do I want 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1 on win bets, exactas, tries, or things of that nature? And then go out and execute your plan and do it that way. For me, if I'm going to play multi-race wagers, those are like bonus ones that I can almost guarantee you're going to have a low win percentage successful. But it's really having a game plan, and then don't be afraid to lose. That's the other one, right?
Yeah.
Don't add. My favorite thing is when people have 5 or 6 horses on a ticket and say, I'm trying to beat the favorite, and the favorite's on the ticket. Well, the favorite's on the ticket because you're afraid to lose.
It is correct, man. You have to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Especially, don't add a bunch of coverage with favorites either. One thing I'll tell you about this Tampa race, that 5 horse at 1%, it can't win. I would not be surprised to see that horse finish 3rd, would be my guess.
The 5?
Yes. Yep.
Well,
this horse got to the turf finally after a bunch of tries. It's 3rd off the layoff. This was a 46, got to the turf, ran to the turf here. It got 2nd, and here it got 5th. So the problem is it's stepping up in class. This is just claimers of 16,000. These horses have all won a bunch of times and everything. Doesn't have a lot of speed here, but, it might get a little bit of pace here. I would guess this horse, if it's going to run well, I don't know if it can get 3rd. But the GSR goes up, and, this horse, it's not a great horse, but this is not a great race.
Yeah. Click that tab. Click the GSR tab. No. Back to the race view.
Oh.
Okay. Click. Yeah. No, go back. Close that out.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Look at that. One race.
Yeah.
One race at the distance on the turf. So that's a good thing also to see, because it's almost like a second time starter at this distance on the turf. And those are the things that you can cash in on. But I like your play there to put it in the try or even a super.
Yeah. A super probably even better, man, because you're getting the 4th place spot there.
Mm-hmm.
It's I was gonna see all 5 for 10 cents. It's $33, but we didn't handicap it enough.
No.
The sound is always so quiet at Tampa. I don't know why.
Yeah, and Jason Beam's doing a good job there. Talk about a huge upgrade from what they had before.
Mm-hmm. This horse, longest shot on the board. It's going to be like 50-1. Parker, good to see you, buddy. Yes, they're all alive. Parker, I almost singled the 4 on one of the tickets. I only put 1 ticket together, Parker. The others only put 1 together, and then I took a couple other people. I almost did, Parker, but I singled the 1 in the second leg.
All right, Justin, I'm going to bounce for just a minute while this race goes off.
Okay. 5 horse broke well. The 6 didn't even get the lead.
They stay in the gray is 4. Tammy ends after that one in the field colors. Yeah. One's outside is Peekaboo and 6. Go back to Towering Gaze, Lullaby Land with 1 beat early on, and that's a Razu who trails. They go into that first turn. Serenade Kitten floating out wide there up on the front end. And Serenade Kitten just in front. That Slime Queen out to about the 3 or 4 path. They're now working their way back over toward the fence, taking Sky Stays toward the inside in 3rd. Opening quarter 24 and 1/5 seconds. One Night Stand is 4th. Chickaboo advancing in the red colors from the outside in 5th. Then comes Tammy in 6th, only 3.5 off the top. Then after that is Lullaby Land. It's a length back board of Towering Gaze and a Razu as they try to slack the pace up front. Slime Queen, Serenade Kitten. Those 2, 1-2. Slime Queen now putting a neck in front of Serenade Kitten as they go by the half-mile pole, 50 seconds flat. So they did slow it down in that second quarter. Chica Boom is 3rd, and the red colors perched to the outside, now putting a nose into the second spot. Take to the Sky is going to need somewhere to run. It's boxed up in behind horses right now as Lullaby Land goes up by that one. Here's Lullaby Land on the march, now up to third. The pace intensifies here as they go around.
The long shot running, big race.
An arrow leader, Chica Boom, draws within a neck on the outside. They're 2 lengths clear of Lullaby Land, who's in that third position. A length and a half more to take to the Skies. They turn for home, and Chica Boom takes over. Chica Boom in the
5 got the green hat with the teal silks. Let's see if here. Come on, get up for third. Oh, it's gonna.
Quinones is in front by 2 now. On the inside, Slime Queen down the outside. Lullaby and Arazu getting going late, but Chica Boom a winner.
You got 5th.
Slime Queen was 2nd, 3rd. Lullaby Land 4th. Arazu.
Tony, I'll try maybe on the next one. I just saw your comment. Chica Boom wins. That 5 horse ended up getting 5th. Kind of didn't have a great trip, to be honest. 9 ended up winning the long shot at 9-1. 9-8-3-2-5. 9-8-3-2. The 2 disrupted our 5 horse to getting 4th. All right, we're going back to Keeneland now. I got 1 horse, Mr. Irab. That 5 got 5th, Chris. It was close.
Yeah.
It ran well, but to be honest, didn't have the greatest trip.
Is that the Scotty long shot at the
9 won? Yeah, the 9 ended up winning.
Chica Boom.
9-8-3-2, Tony, I think is what it came. 9-8-3-2-5. 5 got 5th.
Hey, Parker. Welcome. Glad you could join us. Your ears must have been burning when I was talking about dropping favorites.
So this 1 horse gonna have a big pace advantage. Dirt's, let's look. We'll just go back and look here. We already talked about this race. They've been going 2 turns though. 5 horse pace wins. How good's the pace number, man? Sort the pace. 4 horse. Look at so okay. Square pace wins.
Mm-hmm.
Square pace wins. The square means that has significant advantage. Next race, 2 horse, square wins. 3 squares in a row, and then you get here 4 squares in a row. I mean, that's just pretty wild. So then we get to Detroit City, didn't, but that was on the turf, y'all, and keep that in mind. And then you get here in Irad with another square. We'll see if the square comes through. But that's
Go back to race 2 there. What were the payouts? What did the double pay there?
20. That's wild. Oh, that was 27-1, man.
Yeah, obviously with a console, a scratch, and then
How
look at the third.
Wait, 27-1. This horse was. Oh, it was 8-5. I see. Okay.
Look at the third race then. Let's see what these rolling. What did the rolling pick 3 here pay? 57.60.
With all pace. There was all pace.
Yeah, all pace. And look, and you ended up you ended up with what, a $7 or $8 horse there. I love the penny breakage, by the way, at Keeneland, in Kentucky in general. It is just awesome. What'd the pick 5 pay?
Not bad. I mean, it's all very chalky, man. I mean,
yeah.
But 7:45.
If
you pretty much played the pace and then you got to the turf race, I mean, this horse was a 2-horse race, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so ticket wise, we have the 6 singled here on 1 ticket.
No, the 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're at Lake 2. Sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 4, and 1. The 1 moves on for all of them. Morning Cup.
4-horse current favorite.
Yeah, that's it's like Flavian Pratt's appeal of his suspension the other day. Appeal denied. That'll eventually will happen with that'll eventually be the ruling with Linda Rice too. Appeal denied like in 3 years.
So what I saw that spill. So Gaffleone fell off, right? And so did that horse just lug in really bad with Pratt? What did he hit the horse? It looked to me when I only watched it once, but I mean, the horse just looked to lug in really bad.
It did look to lug in really bad. And when you have an incident like that where the horse goes down and eventually doesn't make it and whatnot, you're going to get some action there one way or the other. But he wasn't trying to like herd the other horse like we see some of the other riders do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This one, we just expect this one horse to rock it right out. It's got to get the break for sure. Otherwise, it's done.
Yeah, for sure. I got to imagine that. I mean, I didn't really like the 4 y'all. I get it, but this horse tried to rate here in a 50. And couldn't do it. And I also had a note here. I just didn't like this main special weight race. I should have put why, but I thought it was really weak. And I put that before it came back as a 48. So, and then, it was way too tough.
Now 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes to post.
But I always take Keeneland with a little bit of like, oh, this is a 54, and I view this as like a tough 54 starter allowance. It's 57,000, so they're pointing here. Not surprising to see him come here from Fairgrounds, lightly raced as a 4-year-old. And then this, though, we talked about Greg Foley earlier. He just the win percent goes up to 22, but couldn't do it here. I think it's going to be hard to do it here. I just don't see that horse being able to rate, but I might be wrong. Gaff gets on, so that's probably a good thing. Yes.
What about the gun runner? The gun runner called to 6. That's the only one we don't get any coverage on the 6 at all. And as I recall, that is top soar, right?
It's top GSR. It needs a drop in class, which it gets. This horse could win. It's 6% going up from 1%. It never should have been running at this level on the Tapeta.
Mm-hmm.
This horse is the top GSR. It goes up. This horse obviously has some issues from being a GSR like that. It ran in a 56 on the dirt way back here at Churchill and got 3rd. But when I look, this horse is going to have a really big pace meltdown, and I don't know if I see it. Like, this horse doesn't have any speed, it looks like.
The only thing I could say about the 6 is that, they ran it how many times at Turf Paradise? It's 1, 2, 3,
Turfway Park.
5 times. Turfway Park. Sorry, Turf Paradise. But sometimes that can tighten those horses up pretty good to where when they get back on the dirt, they really pop. I think there was a decent, workout back to dirt for Gunrunner Colt off 5 pretty lackluster Turfway starts. Could appreciate the surface switch.
It's taking no money. If not, as a long shot, this horse, it could surprise big time. Morning Line puts it at 12-1. Nobody's taking money on it. The 2 horse, I thought schmoozing was interesting. It's going to get some pace, but it's going to have to improve, but it's got Loveberry. I bet he rarely wins at Keeneland, but maybe this is where I thought the 1 was just really tough.
No, I think you're right on the 1. The 2 is coming off pretty good layoff too, right?
No, I've been racing.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody really coming off a layoff.
Yeah.
All right. We shall see if it's Irad's Friday. Would you say you can't have a Friday without IRAD?
Yeah, you can't spell Friday with IR without
Yeah, there
IRAD.
you
Didn't he win? What did he win? 6 or 7 like a month or so ago at Gulfstream on a Friday?
Yes, that was crazy. Nick, I agree. I just I just don't know how it's the one really the horse couldn't really rate the 4, but I mean he could prove me wrong. I mean, I think the 6 is, to be honest, when the 5 EquinEdge long shot was interesting too. Supremely, we didn't really talk about that horse at all, but not taking any money. That horse, I thought Lannery gets on, won him in special 2 back here in a 50. Lannery gets on, it gets off the rail. I'm calling 1-5. That's my opinion. 1-5 cold would be what I would play here.
Sounds good. I'll put a couple of bucks on that. We do have the 5 on the big ticket. Another cowboy hat starter.
And they're off. Appeal denied comes out for the early lead. Morning Cup is right there, supremely up close in the opening strides, and third to the far outside as they head up the back stretch.
Oh, one not going to get the lead.
Nope.
Of a length. Morning Cup goes second by a length. Supremely is in the third position. Stand for Freedom slides down toward the inside in fourth, and then Schmoozen, who travels in fifth at a break of 4 more lengths back.
Why Rad can get any horse to rate. We'll see what happens.
The opening quarter went in 23.2.
3 is very keen.
On to the far turn. Appeal denied is the leader by just a length. Morning Cup out in second. Stand for Freedom.
Irad's also really good at getting a horse out when he has to do that to go.
3 lengths of the lead. Schmoozen between horses in fifth. Gap of 5. American Icon is in sixth. Keen on You last of the 7 as they come off the far turn. Appeal denied. Chased by Morning Cup. A length separates the top 2. Gap of 2. Stand for Freedom third to the inside. Supremely fourth on the outside. Schmoozen is in fifth. Morning Cup, Supremely both trying to chase down. Appeal denied. Stand for Freedom is fourth back toward the inside. Appeal denied. Final furlong has the lead by a length. Supremely is there to the outside. Stand for Freedom is there to the inside. A 16th to go. Appeal denied with Stand for Freedom there toward the rail. Appeal denied. Stand for Freedom heads bobbing on the line.
4.
Either be. Appeal.
Yeah. 4 wins. The 1 didn't get the lead, Chris, and that was the end of it.
Irad tried, though. You got to give him credit there for trying to get the horse on the outside to do what he could. Then he had to use too much to try and pass the horse, and then it was over. I mean,
yeah, Nick, I thought the 1 would be tough there, but the problem is, man, didn't get the lead. Irad tried to rate, but that horse couldn't rate. It needs the lead, even with Irad.
Oh, that could be a heater.
Oh, I look like 4 to me.
Well, a 4-3 heater would not be bad for us. That'd make the big ticket have it twice going into the next single. Right now we got 2 alive. Tony hopes the 4 ones.
The 4 horse got a great bob.
How is it that we can't get the finish line stuff that they have in Australia? I mean, they run the race, and right after that, they slow it down and bring them all to the line, and you know who wins, like Hong Kong or Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're showing
I guess
4, Marco.
I guess they couldn't. I shouldn't be surprised because they can't put the gate in the right spot.
Yeah, the 4-1, they came 4, 3, 5, and then the 1 got 4. So, all right. Then I need a race 1 on the turf. We talked about covering this one.
Yeah.
This will be a good race. I looked at this kind of. I didn't get a chance to take notes, but I did look real fast. Chris, did you have any thoughts here? I thought there were a few interesting horses.
Yeah, there's a few here with some with some decent works. The 10 is one of them. New York Dreams, 3-star work. Post position wins less than 10%, so I'm not super excited about that.
Oh, it's scratched. 10 scratched.
All right. Let me get back to the race view here. 10's out. Lands. I mean, the system likes the 8. 1-star work. You've got Vasquez D'Amato, so we're not surprised there. So if you're going to try and beat it, what do you want to try and beat it with? 5, 6. Those kind of made some sense to me. Maybe the 4 with Sadler and Rispoli. I know they're not anything that the system doesn't like, but one thing I look at when I see this is I don't see the little fire icon up at the top there, which tells me that the top 2 at least aren't hitting at a good regular cadence. So, but you start out with turf, which is nice.
The 4 horse has the top GSR, top win percent. I thought this horse, Rispoli is just kind of not my most favorite jock, but this is one of the more interesting ones. I mean, this horse has been sprinting on the turf, wins here on the lead, gets second here. This was a 52, then was up way, way too tough here. So 17%, still jumps to 23%. Was up close, stopped. This horse looks to maybe need the lead, would be my only concern on this horse, on the 4 horse, because the problem is there's a lot of pace here in the 1, 2, 3, and 6. And this horse probably not going to get the lead. The 6 horse is first time turf. GSR doesn't really change much, but that was my only concern on the 4 is, can this horse rate? And Rispoli rode back here twice. This was way too tough, though. So if you get rid of these, but this is the race that concerned me with the Tory, because, he tried to sit off, but he was way too close, right? It was up close on the weekend. So I just don't know if this horse can rate, would be my concern on the 4 horse.
Yeah, you got the third off the layoff too, so maybe it can improve a little bit here, but it's probably just going to end up being the 8 and coming from off the pace, sitting off the speed, and letting it go.
I think this horse is going to lose, in my opinion. It's 16%. It's very chalky. This is a 48, and then it couldn't win a 54. I don't trust this horse at all. That's where I was trying to find somebody. I still think the 4 horse is interesting, you all. The other Black Magician, I mean, this horse first time turf, but it's going to drop in class a little bit. I just didn't trust the chalk here, man. I mean,
oh no, I'm not saying I wouldn't go bet a ton on the chalk here. If you wanted to really get crazy, then do something like a 3-4-6 trifecta or 3-4-6 exacta. Something like that comes in, you're at least going to get paid.
The 1 horse, these are the ones that I think are scary, man. These things like JJ Rides. Let's look at this horse. JJ Rides has not rode before. 25%, Doug O'Neill, they only hit at 17, but he gets off the 8, which, I like. And he had only rode that horse once, but Elan's here. This is the second EquinEdge pick, and this horse is the pace. So, I mean, I could see the 1, the 3 horse, 5%. This horse probably going to show a bunch of speed. It gets over to the dirt or the turf, but has been on the turf, which it predominantly looks to prefer. We can look at the GSR. We talked about that. Yeah, I mean, overall, this horse wants dirt. So I wouldn't, this horse might put a little bit of pressure on the 1. I think I don't know if Rispoli's fast enough, but I bet he sends the 4. I mean, this horse, though, he's only getting the lead going 2 turns. Now, when it's been sprinting, it did get it here, but in a maiden race, but I bet he sends, Menendez mile for Luis Mendez. I'm guessing he's sending here. So I could make it hard on the 4-horse. 6-1 at Gulfstream was chalky. That it looked like there would be some chalk there.
Who never really has an opinion on jockeys is Parker. I just flipped over to the stretch run chat and was reading his comments about Irad and that race with the 1 or the 4-1.
I mean, the problem is he didn't get the lead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to rush up to get the lead? Nobody likes that either.
Yeah. I mean, he had to rate.
Getting grief on the single, I see. Always. Who singled to 1?
Yeah, I did.
We'll just blame Irad. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. All right, what do we have coming up next?
So
3:54 Eastern time.
I like the 1-4 maybe here. I don't know. This is a tough one. There's a lot of horses here. I mean, you look at the GSR, it's 1-4. I think the 1 horse will run well. It's ran on the turf. It's won on the turf, so at least it's done that in a 52, and then ends up here in a 66, way too tough. Ends up here on the dirt, which, probably doesn't really want in a 56 GSR. Finally gets back to the turf here, but, didn't get the lead. I think this horse going to break. I don't think a lot of the 3. Somebody mentioned the 2. You have the 2 build, Thunderheart.
Well, I'm going to bet I'm going to bet your exacta right now. Your 1-4, because it's paying 38 to 1 either way, and 38 to 1 is good enough for me. Other than that, I didn't have a real strong opinion here. 1-4, but I'll take a little bit of that action for sure. Where is Frankie? Is he in Keeneland?
He has been. But I don't know. He'd been in Keeneland for sure.
Yeah. I know he had his last mount at Santa Anita. Mike Smith was there and did he won a race and
Mike
did the Frankie claw off.
Mike Smith did the Frankie jump, right?
Yeah. Not quite the same, but still.
Keeneland race 7 coming up. The 6 horse is just getting absolutely smashed at the window. 9-5. Wow. Top EquinEdge pick. First time starter versus this field. 5 horses for sure interesting, you all. 32%. This will be a good race to watch. That's pretty wild on the 6, though.
Well, that is the single on the big ticket, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Let's see. Let me go back to Keeneland here and see if that's reflected in the wheel pays.
1 or 6-1 here.
Yeah.
That's Santa
Anita. The double
Anita.
is $7 on the 6, and in the pick 3, it's the favorite 2. So yeah, we're completely out on that horse.
The 6 is the favorite in the doubles?
and the pick 3.
Wow. That was just a crazy morning line they put on that horse. I guess it floats up a little bit, but 2-1 is wild. Sassy Walker just getting crushed in the betting. 5 horse is going to get overlooked probably a little bit. No, maybe not. He's already taking money, 6-1. So
5 horse is the second choice in the pick 3, and is the fourth choice in the double. That's interesting. The double, the favorite is the 6. Next is the 9, then the 8, then the 5, then the 11. I see there were a few people whining about the morning line maker at Keeneland. That's the guy that's the track announcer at Sam Houston. Nick.
Is that who makes the morning line there?
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, he and Marcus Welch, I think his name is, from the DRF. The DRF guy was the one crying about it. And then Nick replied, and then Scotty replied and said, actually, based upon our morning line, Nick's isn't that bad. So, and Nick,
Yeah,
I think those two, Nick and Scotty, are going to hook up because Nick wanted to get some more information about EquinEdge and whatnot. So,
well, y'all, I think the 1 horse's value here. I don't think this 8 horse is anything that's special. I think the 4 is going to run. That's my take on this race. 1-4-4-1. I'd probably play at 1-4 cold. Rispoli to get second over JJ would be my opinion at Santa Anita.
yeah, I'm sure Rispoli knows exactly what JJ's ass looks like. $54 on a 1-4 and $47 on a 4-1. So
Right.
pretty
Bodacious
decent
going
value.
up. Franklin 1 star is next.
We just
Here's
need
Thunderheart.
the 8 to go away and hide.
Black Magician. Mendez Mile. Petruccio. And lens down to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off. Smooth start for Thunderheart along the inside, vying for the lead alongside Black Magician. Black Magician a little quicker and lands down on the extreme outside. Then Tangled Up in Gray didn't have the smoothest of beginnings, followed by Bodacious 5th, now 4th and 3 off the lead. Then Mendez Mile, Franklin 1 star, also not the best of beginnings and currently steadying, and Petruccio is at the back of the field. It's Black Magician and Thunderheart 1-2 into the far turn. They're chased by Lansdowne in 3rd. Bodacious on the outside, 4th, just 2 lengths off the pace, followed by Mendez Mile, Tangled Up in Gray right together. Petruccio trying to get a bid going, and Franklin 1 star at the back. It's Thunderheart with a 1/4 mile to go, starting to shake loose, and doing so right now. It is Thunderheart with a 3-length lead. Lansdowne moves clearly into 2nd and takes up the chase on Thunderheart. Thunderheart a 1.5 lengths inside the 8th pole. Lansdowne opting for the inside path. It's going to be Thunderheart. Thunderheart too strong on the front end, and Thunderheart wins it by 2.
Well done, Bill. Bill called that horse the 2. Bill, good for you. I think whether you had that in a horizontal or a vertical, that horse. I was hoping the 1 was going to get the lead, but the 2 ended up getting the lead there. That was just not a great race.
No,
we were sitting on.
What the heck was Vasquez thinking about trying to go to the inside, and then the 2 just moves over and you're screwed? That was really a dumb move.
I have no idea. But the 8, that was beatable favorite. So well done, Bill, with Thunderheart.
Yeah. Good job, Bill.
Yeah, Marco, the horse was, but he was just much the best. All right, we got Keeneland, 11 minutes. This 6 horse just taking a boatload of money. 3 is the horse that probably would be a little bit surprising, but as a first-time starter, Brendan Walsh under advisement, it is the top GSR, so I wouldn't be a horse like this to blow up the board. But the 4 horse is all the pace. We just saw in the last race, though, the pace was somewhat, I would say, still holding. The 3 ran well coming on and just missed, but the 4 horse ended up going gate to wire there.
Hey, flip over to Aqueduct real quick. I know they're probably going into the gate, but you got another square with the pace at a big price.
Yeah, but it's only 2%, right? But second time out, and 8 furlongs. I mean, this horse is a state bred and a maiden special. I mean, that'd be it's probably cheap. I was gonna try to look we'll listen in. What race is this? Race 6?
Race 6, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't.
EquinEdge long shot, first time starter is like what? Horse get 8 to 5.
Yeah, I know. Don't you hate that?
4 horse getting overlooked, in my opinion. What about the 3? 3 horse not taking no money.
The 4 is 30%. The 8 horse is 28%.
I
do like second time starters. They've got the maiden special weight second time starters have by far the best chance to improve, regardless of what their number is.
I mean, you have Manny on the 4, you have Dylan Davis on the 3, Rule Breaker 30%, second time Brad Cox, ran 3rd here in a 6 horse field. This is a state bred maiden special. I think the 2 gonna stop. Manny gonna sit a good trip.
Katie Davis on the 2. She's been doing good since she came back. At least they got rid of that rule where her and Trevor have to be a coupled entry. Yet the same owner trainer can enter 7 horses and all by themselves.
Yeah.
And then if that's the case, why isn't Irad and Jose have to be coupled?
It's a good question, man.
That's blood, man. That's not just love.
I see this as 3, 4, 5 in some combo of order. I don't think the 5 has to win, but he is taking a ton of money. That's my.
Wanna win a steps in. Rule Breaker and Refua to the outside. Refua's in. All set. And rough. Good break from Meteorite in between horses is right on the early kick, and there's Refua's towards the outside in the early mix with Inspector just in between horses as well. They are well out into the far outside of the racetrack as they get set to come out of the chute. Rule Breaker, Manny Franco, they start to move forward. They're in 3rd, and behind that, that's a tight hold on the purple cap of I'm Just, who's in the 5th spot to the outside of Unaffected in 6th. Towards the back end of the field, Battle of Lexington with the trailer. Wanna win a. Meteorite is in the center of the racetrack and is up by a neck. It's Meteorite. There's Refua tracking from 2nd. Inspector is worked towards the outside for Jose Ortiz, and at the rail, that's Rule Breaker. That's the leading 4. Just behind them, that's I'm Just. Wanna Winna starts to pick up some placings as Unaffected second to last, and the trailer is Battle of Lexington. They approach a half mile left to go. Meteorite's got company to the inside. Here comes Rule Breaker, and Rule Breaker is ready to challenge Meteorite. These 2 into the far turn. 47 and 2 for that half mile time. Just off of them, 3 wide. That's Refua. Inspector is called upon from 4th, losing some ground there. Dropping back just a touch. That's I'm Just, followed by I Wanna Winna. Then Battle of Lexington and the trailer. Unaffected 3 across the racetrack.
5 is not going to win. It's so hard to race in between.
Horses is down to
8's at the trip, but we'll see.
Now Refua is kicked on, is up by a full length. Trying to come back to the inside and doing that is Rule Breaker, and Inspector on the grandstand side is making up late ground. It is Refua in front, but here
class and athleticism.
What we're seeing from Audible across.
Trying to inch closer, Refua, Inspector Refua.
A-horse wins. Jose's had a good trip there on the 6, but couldn't get home.
Yeah.
All right, back to Keeneland. 6 horse not floating up anywhere. 2-1 currently. 16% to win. 5 horse Magical Loot. 32% to win for Ian Wilkes. So, and then 3, the Top GSR, not getting a lot of love. I thought the 8 was a little bit interesting as well. Check Engine Light. That horse, been on the dirt. Cuts back here for Abreu. Luis Saez rides. I mean, this horse is dropping in GSR a little bit, cutting back. But, this race here in a 52, this horse was very, very competitive. And then they obviously thought a lot, Chris, to put this horse in stakes company.
Yeah, obviously they did. And everything looks good, but I just think that the 6 is really going to be tough here. And obviously the word is out because it's getting bet everywhere. Scott's saying that it's raining at Keeneland. So I'm looking at the track feed. They're out on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, it looks like the wind picked up too. So weather is rolling in. The 8 came out on the 6 there, Rory. Yeah, I could see. I saw what you were saying.
So Justin, I'm looking at the track feed right now for Keeneland. The talent picks: Scott Hazelton, Gabby, Jeremy Plonk, Tom Leach, Daily Racing Form. Nobody has the 6 in first.
Yeah,
they all have
the 9, the 1, 5, 4. Somebody did that 4 horse. Somebody thought wired the field here.
Well, and that's typical for the experts, right? How many times you see the experts get on a 10-1 horse?
Yeah.
Not very often. There's only a few people on TVG that I've seen do that. And then the horse gets bet to hell. So I prefer when they just stick with the favorite and let everybody criticize them, and we all can get a better price.
Three GSR 9 seconds. She's a small town girl. I mean, 3rd-time starter, ran well in a 56 here at Oaklawn. So ships in, gonna have a good post out here. Just needs to kind of sit the trip off. This horse is gonna go so fast, man. That's where it's gonna be interesting here, because I would assume this horse stops. Just looking at what happened, but. You never know here. I mean, this horse nearly wired at Laurel Park in a 56. So it looked cheap here, but it got probably a little bit of pressure at the start here. It just got immediately to a 3-length lead and then gave it up right at the end.
Well, it's going to be running on a level surface now too, so maybe that'll make a difference. Kidding. She's a small town girl. That sounds like a John Cougar Mellencamp song, doesn't
it? Yes, for sure. It's definitely raining though. I can see what people are saying. The wind picked up. It looks to be pouring down rain at the moment.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is pouring. Caleb's pick 4. You don't have any love for the 6. So other ticket wise, we have the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Yep.
So we can get this 6. That keeps both of them alive, and the big one is single free the rest of the way. But yeah, it is pouring.
Bill, what are you talking about? The identical works into 2 horses. What do you mean? Brendan Walsh on the 3 and the 11? Yeah, that must be what you're talking about. He's been working those 2 horses together.
Race 7.
He put the 11 on the turf for a bit, but then he put it back on the dirt. The 3 horse, I mean, is probably I don't know. It's actually a little bit interesting, but
well, we're gonna find out if these horses like rain. That's for sure.
Yeah, Scott, it is windy. You can see that. They have a little storm coming through with the wind picking up. No, they got to get that guy a coat, the outrider with the 7, man. He's just going to get drenched in that Keeneland shirt.
It's a bloom at Aqueduct, huh, Chuck? And really, Bill, a Journey song? She's a small town girl? I was thinking either Mellencamp or Billy Joel. I mean, you could probably almost sing She's a Small Town Girl to She's an Uptown Girl.
You think Marco the 4 going to get the lead? Yeah, for sure. I'm with you, man. That horse got a big pace advantage per EquinEdge.
So we're looking for a stumble right out of the gate. Too bad Rosario's not on that horse.
Yeah, Marco, that horse is much the speed. It's got all the speed for Ray Lou. I think it's too cheap, be my opinion. Something happened. Vet there freaked out. They are at the post.
The green light is on. You gonna turn the sound up?
Yeah, it's coming.
They are at the post. And they're off.
Wow. 4 not that fast, man.
Lead with check engine light, Sassy Walker under advisement, moving up down toward the inside with Hyde right away. A lane off the rail, moving up now into 3rd. At the front of the field, it is Sassy Walker, at least for a moment. Challenge now for the lead by Hyde right away, puts ahead in front. And then under advisement goes 3rd down next to the rail. Followed by She's a Small Town Girl, drops back and forth outside of check engine light 5th. Corey Felice is in 6th. Magical Loot goes in the 7th position onto the far turn. Delaney's Grace is in 8th spot and is followed by Sister Woman wide at the back. 21.94 seconds as the field rounds the far turn.
Wow, fast.
It is Sassy Walker who is there to the outside, has a head in front, Hyde right away, fights right back to the inside, now pokes ahead in front. Then a gap of 5 more lengths under advisement is 3rd by just a length. Corey Felice is 4th on the outside, check engine light 5th. They turn for home. Sassy Walker has the lead. Sassy Walker leads it by a length and a half coming to the 8th pole. Corey Felice under advisement are running late from the outside. Magical Loot down the center of the track is still 7th from the lead. Under advisement, Corey Felice, Magical Loot, all trying to catch Sassy Walker. 16th to go. Under advisement, Magical Loot on the far outside. Magical Loot, Brian Hernandez Jr. Magical Loot up to win it. Close for 2nd. Either under advisement or Felice for that runner-up. And then further back, Sassy Walker was 4th.
Top win percent. I mean, and when you see something like that, we're on Keeneland. I mean, it's EquinEdge long shot, top win percent. We're not at 4-1. I mean, you just trust the system on these, man. I mean, in a situation like that, you're gonna it gets a perfect pace setup. This is not a great maiden special weight race. So horse was 3rd-time starter. 6 was obviously loaded and fit for the race, but it dueled. It got the lead. It didn't. That was tough. But great ride on the 5. I mean, just sat the trip for Brian Hernandez.
Yep. You knew you were in trouble when those 2 were dueling at 21.
Mm-hmm. Way too fast.
That's never a good thing. All right.
Gulfstream Race 8. I don't know if we'll get it, you all. Let's see. We got 1 minute. Let's look at this. Maiden special. No, that's Keeneland. Oh, this is a claiming race. I thought the 3 would be tough here with all this speed. It's taking a bunch of money. Flip my ID. I thought the 1 horse Danny Hill with Luis Reyes. Sources dropping on the rail on the synthetic. You know, it won back here in a 52, right? On the Tapeta and went on the dirt, which it didn't love. Get rid of all of these races. If you look at this race, you say, what happened? You know, and it was bumped, tracked, 5-path, empty. You cross that. This horse fits here, you know, so 3 going to be very hard probably on the lead, but I'm expecting that the 1 horse runs a really good race.
I like the 7. I'm going to do a 1-7 exacta. Couple of prices.
The 6 got DQ'd. The 6? I thought the 8 was going to get DQ'd, Rory. Why'd the 6 get DQ'd? You like the 1-7? 7 horse. 7%. I mean, this is wild, man. You know, you're getting a lot of value here on the 1 and 7. The 7 is second EquinEdge pick, so I like it, man. They're behind the gate there, so we'll see here in a second.
Top pick from our friend Bruno too. Back to Tapeta off the dirt last out. How long are you going today, Justin? 5 o'clock?
Yeah, we'll go probably another, maybe. We'll see if we can get 1 more race at Keeneland. We'll look here in a second, but yeah, we might close it down here shortly. We'll watch this race for sure. I like, you know, I think the 3 could be tough with the speed, but the 1 and 1-7 are
the horses are approaching the starting gate. 1 minute.
Yep. All right, I'm going to hit the restroom while this goes off. I hope to come back and see a 1-7.
The horses are at the gate. It's now post time. Lotting up and moving in for race number 8, the starting leg of the late pick 3. 7-5 favorite is number 3, Flip My Id. Into line first is Danny Hill, heir to the Roar, moving forward now. Kentucky Invader, Deast Delight. Now Solaire. Demurely. Flip My Id.
Scott, I was there, man.
Lexinator.
It was crazy.
On the outside, La Costa will complete
I
the
was
line.
down there. It was there was a lot of storms.
Late pick 3 begins here. Flip My Id, the daughter of Freud, is the race favorite. Waiting for Winning at Ease. And La Costa. Acosta to take the outside. It's a field of 9 at 5.5. Acosta not ready yet. Still working with LaCosta. Acosta surveys the situation. She's ready now. All set for race 8. And they're off. Off a step slow, air to the roar. Not an especially quick start for Soler either. It was a quick start for the race favorite, Flip My Id, who heads off to a clear lead.
We
Down
get
the
the
inside,
lead
Danny
as
Hill is away with
expected.
speed. Demurely comes
Danny
away
Hill,
in the top
18 to
flight.
1 though.
Lexinators in the red colors. Winning at ease
Both
is
these
next
1
with
and
Kentucky
7.
Invader
Splitting the
Deeks the light
trick. Let's
next.
see what
Out
happens
wide
here
on the
now.
course, it's air to the roar, sliding through at the inside Soler, and the trailer is LaCosta. Into the far turn at the 3 furlong point. Flip My Id has the lead. Leads now 3/4 of a length. Danny Hill is there second on the far outside. Here's Air to the Roar making a sweeping move. Soler's trying to get lucky between horses. Out wide on the course, and Lexinator as Flip My Id shakes free. To the top of the stretch with Flip My Id the target. Outside Air to the Roar. Jaramillo still trying to find racetrack for Soler. She's in the white colors trying to knife between. Off the turn and the stretch drive. Flip My Id has the lead. Coming up the inside is Soler from second. Down the center and Danny Hill. 1/8 of a mile to go. Flip My Id is in front. Soler's not done trying, nor is Danny Hill. Close to home with Soler surging. Soler's going to get her. Soler in front.
Well,
Second, Flip My Id. Danny Hill was third. In the
close,
8th
man.
at 104.
Yeah.
And 1.
And what was the jock looking at when he was looking around at the top of the stretch?
I don't know.
Just
I
ride
don't
your
know.
horse.
I don't
Ride
know
your
why
horse, buddy.
they do stuff like that. It's crazy, man. All right. We can we'll close it out this Keeneland 8th race.
Sounds good.
This horse, we don't have to go there yet. We got Santa Anita race 2. 6 horse is, we should look to see if we can beat this horse.
Santa Anita?
Yeah. The 6 in race 2. Midnight Silence, 10%. A pace on the 2, the EquinEdge long shot, got a 13-point pace advantage. But if we look at the 6, we're going 2 turns. Speed can always be dangerous. GSR says the 1 is interesting. The 3 has a good GSR too.
Flip the screen. You've got the race up.
Yeah, you're right.
There we go.
So here's I'll go back here. So 2 got the pace advantage. We'll see what that looks like. I mean, the 1 horse is bred well. Morning Line likes his second EquinEdge pick. The 6 horse only 27%. And then they got the top win 39% on the 4. So stuff's kind of all over the place here. But if we see if the 6 is vulnerable, I mean, we obviously thought a lot of this horse to put this here in this allowance optional claim, and couldn't find conditions for it. But this horse is dropping into a 36 out of 50s. But there's likely something wrong here. The 4 just took a lot of money, or maybe the live odds were off, but 39.
They take a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, somebody put a big bet there down on Hot Rod Mama. I mean, they're expecting these horses to close off the pace. So, Del Mar Woman, great name of a horse, I must say. Jose Paramon, I don't know. Who's this jockey? Never heard of this guy. Adrian Castellanos.
Los Al guy.
They're not even an apprentice. Huh.
No, and these the 1 and the 2 are both are at 118, and the 4 is at 119. The 3, 5, and 6 are at 126 in terms of weight. So significant weight break too.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oldie, welcome. Oldie, your ticket's alive. That's all that matters. The problem is I hope your horse wins, but that's not my Oldie. Oldie singled the 4 in 2 races, I think, Chris. But Oldie, I almost singled the 1 in the first race, or the 4 in the first race, and then I singled the 1 on the dirt. But I'm glad you could join us for a minute, Oldie. It's good to see you.
You hate my single.
I know, man. I really do. But hey, I was wrong. It was a very difficult task of trying to do all that this morning. I will tell you, like, I did it because I know people wanted to, but in reality, I wish I wouldn't have. Chris knew I got on the show here, and I'm like trying to figure stuff out last minute. And you know, I told Chris before I get on the show, I'm like, I think the 4 in the first race might be the single, but I singled the 1 in the second. So,
yeah.
How much time we got here? 3 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't know. Manuel, I don't know if we're playing a pick 4 just because I didn't look at anything but the first 2 races. And I thought the 6 was vulnerable. I just don't trust this drop, man. Like, so the 4, this horse is dropping a little bit, but actually has been able to run where, I mean, the 6, like, I guess this horse is going to win in a 36, but Peter Miller is just trying to get rid of this thing. JJ rides, so he gets the top jock aboard, but only 27%, you all. I mean, look at the 5. I mean, I don't know, like, this is wild, Chris. 5-1, EquinEdge Morning Line. But it's only a 1% horse.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for such a small field, you have a really wide odds swing here on this particular race. I mean, even the 2, I think, has somewhat of a chance, but I just boxed the 1 and the 2 and hoping for the best there. But the 5, you know, a couple of star work. I'm not a real big fan of that jock, but Eddie Freeman can get him ready to run too, especially if you don't like the 6.
I mean, the only way I think that the 5 would help at all is if the favorites don't win and the 5 somehow can run a little bit. Maybe you make some money here. I mean, I don't think that horse can win, but if you try to fit that in a trifecta, I just don't trust the 6 to win. You know, I think the 3 could win. I think the 2 could win. I think the 1 could win. I mean, these are the other EquinEdge picks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if these hit at, about 70%, I think it's about 50+% first and second, about 15% here. You got, I mean, either the 1, 2, 4, or 6 are winning, in my opinion. You have the 4, Bill. I could see that it's the top win percent, but my guess is it's 1, 2, 4, or 6. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the 4 or 6 not even get second, but I would expect them to get second. Maybe 1 and 2 get first. 5 maybe gets third. We'll see.
I mean, if you want small action on here, just do $1 exacta box 1, 2, 5. That comes in.
Yeah,
you should be sitting really well. And Oldie is right. Please hit the like button. Crush it. What is that 1, 2, 5 combo paying? One, 2 is 59. 2, 1 is 93. 5, 1 is 187. 5, 2 is 214. So yeah, $6 if that comes in should get you out of the hole.
With a narrow advantage onto the backstretch. Hot Rod Mama up alongside second, followed by American Conquest. Delmar Woman subtly back to fourth. Jacqueline Cochran racing in between rivals a long way back to Tappan 9 with 4.5 furlongs to go. And Hot Rod Mama now in front. Leads the way by about a neck. At the rail, Midnight Silence in second. It's a length and a half to Jacqueline Cochran, a joint third inside American Conquest. Delmar Woman losing ground, 8 in front of Tap In 9. They have 3 furlongs to run. Hot Rod Mama working hard to maintain the lead, has it by about a neck still. Midnight Silence fighting on at the rail. 3 more back. Jacqueline
Look at this
Cochran in
6,
third,
man.
and then American
That 6 horse
Conquest. They're a
is
quarter
just
of a mile from
no
home. Midnight
bueno.
Silence, Hot Rod Mama on the outside. Midnight Silence hugs the rail. They've been battling for quite some time with a furlong left to go. Hot Rod Mama has the lead. Midnight Silence at the rail. 4 back to Jacqueline Cochran in third. They're a 16th out, and now Hot Rod Mama finishes up the job and pulls away. Hot Rod Mama wins it by 3
Good job, Bill.
lengths. Midnight Silence second, Jacqueline Cochran and American Conquest.
The 6 is just that was good, Bill. Cheapo, yeah. But don't trust that horse. I try to chalk 1, but there's no reason to use that horse there. Aqueduct on the turf in 10 minutes, and then we're going to close it out with Keelan you all in race number 8, the 4th leg of the pick 6. Been pretty chalky early, but you do catch a little bit of a price there in the 5 in leg 3, which was EquinEdge long shot, top win percent. So Aqueduct starter allowance here. So 1 horse, Morning Line doesn't love, Public loves, 43%. A lot of pace in this race.
Flip over to the screen.
Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you.
There we go.
I missed it earlier and then I missed it again. I think it's I'm glad Oldie always helps me too. That's one of the things. I mean, you get rid of these 1%ers, you're really able to narrow down this field using EquinEdge, to be honest.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pace here, in the 7th. I was trying to, the 6, interesting, 5-1 here. This horse gonna stop. Game theory, GSR goes down on the turf, 1% here. I don't see this horse. You can get rid of that horse. We can look at the 5. This horse not gonna run. It been on the dirt to the turf, 1%. We get rid of you. Guess if you. I don't know if that horse could hit a vertical.
Maybe, but probably unlikely. I'd get rid of it.
I mean, the 3 horse, Brown, Wyas rides the Apprentice. That horse won last out. I mean, maybe that horse. All right. I don't think this one. I think the 1 is a little this horse won in a 46, couldn't run in a 50, gets on the turf.
In the mud, though. In the mud, it won.
I don't think that horse. You can get none. These can't win, but I think how can we? The 1 and the 6 are going to sit off the. I guess we can add the 2 back for the pace. 6 horse. I mean, this horse, it didn't need the lead here in a 56 on the dirt. Gets over to the turf. There's GSR drop there. Who wants the turf? I guess the 1 does. 1 wants the turf.
Yeah.
Raymond Handel, Dylan Davis rides. This horse was a 54. Up her sleeve, the 4, the EquinEdge long shot. I mean, this horse wants the turf all day. Levine takes over from Delgado. It's off the claim. I don't know. There can be a lot of pace here. The 8 horse, this horse, who's riding? Katie Davis for Englehart. She's sprinting, stretching out. Gets back to stretching out. Well, she was sprinting. Ran here on late, but didn't have enough at 8.5 in a 56. I mean, she might improve here. This horse probably going to run okay. 4%. I don't know, Chris. The 1 may be tough here. The 4 and 6 are probably the interesting players, I guess.
I think the system has got this one pegged. I mean, it's probably that combination, and then just how do you want to play it? And do you want to sprinkle in when you look at the lifetimes there? Go back to the GSR tab there next to lifetime. So yeah, I mean the sevens run a couple. The sevens hit the board 4 out of 6 times. The 8s run third twice out of 6 times. So those sometimes can be little keys for you in terms of using them in exacta tries, supers, and things like that. When you guys were on last week, Justin, I think it was the Santa Anita first race, that 7 horse came flying at the end. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I hit the super high 5 on that for $12. I just 6,
Wow.
7, 8 cold, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8 cold with 2 alls, and it paid like $6.50.
That's incredible, man.
And those are the bets where we knew the 7 was going to come flying late, and I just put him in second, right? So again, small bets to collect a little bit larger. It's the same analogy that I like to give people with the pick 5. You could play $150 pick 5 that's giving you 300 combos, and depending on what you're singling there, if you're going to single the favorite or whatnot, well, then the rest of your combos are going to have to be some prices to get that thing to pay. If you play 10, $15 pick 3s and you leave the favorite out of all 3 legs on each ticket, if you hit one of those, it's probably going to pay the same amount as your pick 5. But you've given yourself 15 chances versus 1 and whatnot. So, I mean, listening to pylons and whatnot, I really like the analogy of when you make these multi race wagers is give yourself a couple of hurdles to overcome. And maybe that's meeting a favorite or just trying to use some second and third choices and mix in some other prices and whatnot. But set your choice and try not to have an all chalk fest ticket where you got the favorite in every leg, because those make it harder to hit. I shouldn't say harder to hit, but those are going to reduce your payouts.
For sure.
Right,
this will be an interesting one, though. I think the 1 might be tough here. I think the 4 is very interesting, though. I mean, the up her sleeve, it's jumping up in class, though, but gets a new trainer, Castellano rides. So he's hanging out here at Aqueduct today. I don't really see the 3. Herman Harkey on this 2 horse can be the pace. That's going to inject the pace, and they're going to have, the Gomez has been riding well, hits at 17% for Maker.
Scott, not just gimmicks. My healthy win bets are there as well. The last good one I had was last Sunday at Los Al, last race, 10-1. EE long shot. I had 200 to win on it. Actually, 200 to win, 200 to place, and 200 to show. Paid like 4,000 total.
Yeah, that was a good bet, man. You showed me that. That was the EquinEdge long shot that closed it out.
Yeah, for our $767 pick 4, that was really a pick 3 with an all for everybody.
Yeah, and the thing is, that horse that won that you singled was the longest shot, which it just makes it tough.
Yeah, the longest shot that they took away.
I mean, Union Dolly here, rated here in the 54, got the lead. I mean, this horse is for sure, I would say, a player. I think the 6 and 8 are players too. I think the 8's gonna, I would say, in a try, probably Katie gets. I mean, looks like she might get third because this horse hasn't finished second, but taking money, I don't think can win. There's a lot of pace here though, so I think that horse is probably one of the more interesting horses, I would say, from just a little bit of a price to hit the board in a trifecta. But the 1 might be tough. Maybe the 4 or 6 can win. 7 hasn't won at the turf here at 6 or 8.5. So I think that's going to make it tough for that horse. 6. I think you're right. I think the EquinEdge picks have this. I do think the 8 probably going to run well coming off, though, would be my opinion.
You know, and here's another. You mentioned this earlier about the Tampa turf course. How good does the Aqueduct turf course look after being covered up all winter?
Yeah,
I mean, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was glad to see them back on the turf already. I don't know. I didn't really know, but it does. I mean, they've done a good job with keeping that thing. It definitely has some like different lengths of grass in various spots, but it's not, you know, it's a turf course, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Thornton, last to load. Lady of Thornton goes in. All set. Just breaking through the front of the gate there was Our Girl Faith as they were getting ready to go.
Good job by the assistant starter.
Yeah, nice catch.
We'll walk back around. The 5, Our Girl Faith. Luis Castro.
Now,
He's reloaded here.
Trevor and his wife are right next to each other.
All set. And they're off. Breaking outward was Lady of Thornton, and down at the rail, that's Union Dolly and Game Theory with early speed. Just off of them is going to be Our Girl Faith, and Our Girl Faith is in the 3 path as they get set to cross the wire here for the first time. There's Brisky Frolic, who's going to want to press on, and Brisky Frolic is trying to get over Jose Gomez. And Brisky Frolic, they want the front, get tight there. Now tipping to the outside is Our Girl Faith. It's Brisky Frolic, and Our Girl Faith 1-2 into the turn. Union Dolly takes off of them as a third.
Is the 2 they know they couldn't get the lead or what?
Horses, it's up her sleeve. Out there wider, that's Bella Princess.
No idea.
The field is From Hello. And the trailer, Lady of Thornton. 6 off the lead as they work to the back stretch. Brisky Frolic is in front. It's Brisky Frolic, 23 and 1 for that opening quarter mile. Our Girl Faith at a big number is right there from second. There's Union Dolly at the rail in third. Progressing is Bella Principessa out in the center of the course. Nowhere to go for Game Theory, who moves to the inside here of Up Her Sleeve, who's still in between horses in 6th. From Hello is second last in the trailer. Lady of Thornton, less than a half mile to go, 49 seconds flat. Brisky Frolic is still clear. It's Brisky Frolic who will take him into the far turn. Chasing is Union Dolly at 4-5 is now into the 2 path, and Union Dolly is making a move. Following that one is come Up Her Sleeve, and Up Her Sleeve is saving ground. Game Theory is found to seam as well. They start to stack up in behind the leader as they reach the top of the lane. Union Dolly is ready to get the cue, and Union Dolly is kicked on. It's Union Dolly who's up by a quick length, now a length and a half, and Union Dolly is sprinting away. Union Dolly just opening up right now. Up on the outside, Up Her Sleeve has got some late momentum towards the far outside. There is
that 4 up for second.
Union Dolly got that clear running room.
Yeah, 3 going to get there. We talked about that horse just for a minute, like that it's I don't remember what was the deal with. Oh, his second time starter. That's right. Yeah, that this horse with Wyas switched over to Brown. Interesting. All right. Did Keeneland already go?
Any second.
All right. All right, y'all. Last race of the day.
Justin, it's been fun.
It has been. I like the 6 here, you all. I thought Irad would be tough. The 6 at 6-1. I was not a fan at all of the 1 horse. I have not been very right today, though. So, but I thought Luis on the 6. I thought this was a really nice allowance race. I thought
they are at the post.
Well, we're 1-2 in the pick 6.
And they're off. There goes Bipartisanship toward the outside. Here comes Fastest Flight down toward the inside.
Well, there's no way Bipartisanship can win.
As Bipartisanship will go in second. Via Reggio is third down toward the inside. Valentina Day moves up fourth on the outside. Arm Candy, a lane off the rail in fifth into the first turn. It is followed closely there by Trail Ridge Road. At the front of the field, though, it will be Fastest Flight to lead it. Fastest Flight leads it by a length against the rail. By Partisanship is second, 3/4 of a length. Valentina Day tries to challenge for third, just to the outside of horses, followed by Via Reggio, who's back toward the inside. Arm Candy between horses is in the 5th position. Justify My Love is 6th. Trail Ridge Road is in 7th. Trobe Ritz is in 8th. And Juncture last, a lane off the rail, challenging for 8th and moving up within 7 lengths of the lead. First half mile was 48.81 after an opening quarter in 24.39. Over to the far turn they go. And it is Fast as Flight who leads it. Fast as Flight leads it by just a half length. And By Partisanship is alongside in second, 3/4 of a length. Valentina Day goes third up on the outside. Via Reggio in behind horses down toward the inside. In 4th, Trail Ridge Road is a wide 5th around the far turn. Justify My Love, Arm Candy. Juncture is still at the back of the pack and is running 8 lengths off the lead along with Trobe Ritz. They turn for home. By Partisanship is coming after Fast as Flight, joined by Via Reggio, who comes on with Valentina Day. Juncture is out in the center of the course, still 7 from the lead. By Partisanship has taken a narrow lead. Fast as Flight second. Via Reggio is coming up from the outside, down to the wire. Via Reggio up to win it. A half lip.
3 wins.
Tyler Gaffalione, his 3rd win on the card.
Wah, wah.
What was that race? 8? Yeah, 3 horse. Tyler Gaff. Come on. Whoops. This horse, I mean, Morning Line did not like Via Reggio at all. I was only 2-6 there. That was my 2. You can see by my notes. 4 a little bit interesting, but 2-6 really. 8 didn't run at all. But that wasn't the 8. It was a different race. But yeah, 3 horse gets up. Morning Line had that thing pegged right. Only 9%, but horse gets up. So, all right, brother. The 1 was a bum. Scott, I do agree with you there. Florent Giroux. All right. It's been a pleasure. Everybody, go ahead.
Just one note on that one. That was Brad's single in the Turf Pick 3 that knocked us out.
Oh, nicely done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks everybody for joining in. It was great to hang with you for today. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Kentucky Derby in 2 weeks.
That's it, man.
Yeah. 2 weeks. So 2 weeks in 1 day. We got Oaks in 2 weeks. We'll have a special Oaks show. It'll be fun. We appreciate everybody. Chris, any last words?
Just happy to be with you here today, Justin. It was fun, and I'll probably see you on the 4th at some point during the show.
All right, man. It was a pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Good luck. Get some winners. We'll chat soon.
See you guys.